Hello. Oh, people are already asking.
Oh.
It's because I put the message on here. They could probably see that ahead of time. Welcome, everybody. Oh my gosh, that looks so weird what you're doing.
I was thinking the same thing.
Gwen, what kind of wine opener is that? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, welcome you guys to the RECS by the Bottle live show. This is a live show that we do quarterly. We did pick a date for our next one. Jessie, did you say that date worked for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So our next one is going to be August 13th. So keep that in mind. We were able to schedule that way far in advance because I'm not at work yet at that time. Hello, Deja and Monica and Always Booked and Karen. So we have Jessie. Oh, how do I show our names on here? Can you guys see our names? I can't see our names.
I can't either.
Oh, we don't want that. Oh, we don't want that either. Oh, okay. That I don't know how to get our names up here. Anyway, so I'm Jacqueline. You're on my channel, obviously. And then Jessie, do you want to do a little intro?
Sure.
What you read and stuff?
Yeah. My channel is Reading with Jess. I love thrillers and horror, and I have slowly gotten more into romances. I'm just a little picky with what I pick. And yeah, mostly thrillers. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have both of the links to their channels down below. Gwen, what about you? Oh no, we can't hear you. We can't hear you at all.
Seriously, even though we can't hear you.
So you unplugged your mic? Okay, so this is Gwen from Gwendolyn Kensinger. She likes thrillers. She also reads romance. And I think we're all kind of in agreement that we really don't read like historical fiction or fantasy. It has to be like super specific. Like there's a couple that we've read, but not really our main genres. But Gwen also really likes poetry as well.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to come back when she figures out her audio and stuff. Okay. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Haley. Hi, Carolina. Deja, you have to stop showing the comment to show the names. Oh, okay. Got it. This is Wendy, I think. Hello. So we're going to go through, I mean, obviously when Gwen comes back, but we're going to go through some people left comments on our videos where we said we were going to have this live show. And then we also asked for people's recommendations, throughout Instagram. So we'll go through those. And then we'll also go through you guys when you're asking us like live. So there's going to be a
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yay! I don't know. Like, I literally don't know what's going on, guys. I apologize for interrupting, but I'm back.
Okay. So yeah, now that Gwen's back, we will start going through recommendations, but we're also drinking during this.
Yes.
So yeah.
Cheers.
I'm drinking the 19 Crimes Red Blend. It's one of my favorites. I love this stuff so much.
Can y'all see that? It's kind of shiny, but it's a Pinot Grigio.
Cool.
I am not drinking wine. I just wasn't in the mood tonight, but I was in the mood for some hard seltzers. So I'm drinking a mango hard seltzer lemonade.
That sounds good.
It's the Mike's, which I haven't drank Mike's since I was like 21. It got like blacked out on it. So, but they came out with their own seltzers and they're actually really, really good.
Wow. That sounds really good.
Yeah, I have mango, lemonade, strawberry, and I've had the pineapple one before, and it's really good.
Cool.
Did you see what Deja said? She said you have to stop showing the. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. See that. Yep. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'll probably type whatever recommendations we're currently talking about at the moment. So when I go back, and I'm gonna just start with my video where we announce this, and we'll go through those first. So someone said they're looking for clean paranormal books, like clean romance, doesn't have to be a romance book, but most paranormal books I see are full of smut, and honestly, I don't enjoy that stuff. I'm looking for clean paranormal stories. So I'm going to put that in here.
The only paranormal book I think I've ever read that I don't remember if you would, I don't know if you would consider it clean, but like Layla by Colleen Hoover.
Yeah.
That's clean, right?
Clean? I don't know.
I mean, did it have some sex? Yeah, but it wasn't like smut.
That's true. I don't think it was like super in detail.
So what do they mean by clean? Like super squeaky clean, or like
I think
natural sex is okay?
Like not full on smut. So I think that if you haven't read Layla, that would probably be a good option. For those that are watching, like feel free to put in the comments, like if you guys have recommendations for this. But yeah, we should probably read more paranormal books because we don't.
My TBR is already out of control. I was like looking through this and I was like, ooh, I don't have many recommendations for this, but I know like 5 on my TBR I want to read. Like,
yeah, that's true. Okay, next. Let me copy this over. We have, I would love a recommendation for more Nordic / Scandinavian thrillers like The Chestnut Man or Hypnotist. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Hypnotist? Okay.
I would recommend The Nesting by CJ Cook, just because if you liked Turn of the Key, which was not one of my favorites, I think you would like this one because it has Turn of the Key vibes, but it has that like setting that you're requesting. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4, maybe a 4.5.
So like the Nordic Scandinavian, is that just like kind of like on the coast and like, you know, like that type of thing?
I guess.
Well,
actually, I haven't read The Chestnut Man or
The Chestnut Man is actually written by a Danish author.
Okay.
So I don't know about
Nearly Normal Family, also written by a Danish author, or
I think so.
Okay.
Or no,
So
I
maybe
think it's Swedish.
Scandinavian, Swedish. Okay,
maybe.
Yeah. So maybe that counts.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Nisha said for the paranormal, it was probably more like vampires, shifters, or fae. Sarah said The Diviners by Libby Bray.
Yeah.
In YA series.
Yeah, but I didn't like that, so I wouldn't recommend.
I haven't read it.
I DNF'd it, so.
Monica said she just connected. No idea what you're talking about. We were looking for recommendations for more Nordic / Scandinavian thrillers, but we're going to go ahead with another thriller.
Burial Rites is a good one. That one's set in like Iceland or something, I think.
Okay.
All right. Do you guys have any on your video? Any comments?
That's a great question. Let me see.
Okay, because then we'll go to the Instagram to see. A lot of people said any horror thriller books, but someone also said, actually, multiple people said Stalker thrillers.
Yes. And
so let's
I've got some for that.
Stalker thrillers. So number 1, Every Value Break by Peter Swanson definitely has that type of element in it. I thought that the Stalker element was really great in it. I have not read You by Carolyn Kepnes, and I know some people said like, please don't recommend that because like everyone recommends that.
Yeah.
What other stalker-ish thrillers?
I just finished reading The Hunting Wives by May Cobb, and that actually fits for a couple of different things that we're going to be talking about tonight. Some Instagram people asked for certain things, but The Hunting Wives by May Cobb, it follows this woman that moves from Chicago to the small town in Texas, and she kind of gets mixed up in this like socialite group. And I know like Haley is one specifically that asked for stalker POVs, and she loves like rich women vibes. And this has those rich women snatch their life vibes, but it's not really like snatch their lives. It's like she wants one of the women, but they move there and she gets like tangled into this group that they call like the Hunting Wives. And it's like drinking and flirting with men and interactions with younger men and like, yeah. So stalker vibes for sure. Because she like Facebook stalks her. She drives by her house. She's trying to make her house look like her house. And yeah.
Was it good? Because when I read the synopsis, it reminded me of like part The Wife Upstairs and part Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. And
Okay.
I was like,
if you like Haley likes thrillers that are like rich mom vibes, I think you'll love it. But that's not particularly my thing. And it wasn't like huge twists and turns. It was more of like the stalker vibes, but like slower and less thriller. It was like a mix between like The Heathers, Desperate Housewives. What else did I say in my review? I don't know, but like kind of like along those vibes.
Okay.
It was more like, Big Little Lies. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I love Big Little Lies.
Yeah.
Okay, so some other people said for Stalker, Every Value Break, though I was not a fan of that one. Yes. I mean, I was a fan, but yes, Every Value Break is a good one. Some people said that you sucked. I DNF'd it, and I DNF'd the show. Planning Penelope is a good Stalker book. I've actually never heard of that one. And I think I do like Stalker books, so I'm definitely going to be like going back and writing these down because I want to read more. You guys must read The Wife Stalker by Constance. Oh, I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, Our Kind of Cruelty. That I don't know about. Like me and Jessie kind of have the same thoughts about that. Like I thought it was leading up to like really good stuff, but then like the ending really let me down, and I was just like, if the ending would have been flipped, it would have been epic.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that statement. I would also say Our Kind of Cruelty. I did not personally like this one, but it definitely gives you kind of like that Joe Goldberg type of vibe because he's like, you're following his point of view. He doesn't talk in that second point of view, but I don't know. But he's basically obsessed with his ex-girlfriend who he thinks she's playing a game with him to get her back.
Yeah. But The Last Mrs. Parrish is good, an example.
Yeah, The Last Mrs. Parrish is really good, and that is a good stalker story.
I also read One Step Behind by Lauren North. This person has a stalker, and then she's also a nurse, and she ends up having to take care of her stalker, and then she becomes obsessed with her stalker, so she kind of is stalkerish.
And I guess that makes me think of Misery by Stephen King, kind of.
Oh, yeah. Stalker story. Yeah. Wow.
That's a really good
that cover is beautiful on that book.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see. We got, hold on. I See You by Claire McIntosh, they say, is a stalker.
Okay. One.
Confessions on the 745 has stalking vibes. Other people also said Our Kind Cruelty is a good stalker. Deja did say Confessions is a good stalker, but it's translated work in case anybody doesn't really go for those. Let's see. A lot of people said The Wife Stalker was good. So I think, that's definitely on my list to read. So I can't wait to see if I agree with you guys or not.
Well, I have the book if you want to borrow it. So
Jess is like, you can have it.
Yeah, I would love to borrow it, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Chevy Stevens. I've never heard.
Oh, Haley actually had a book on one of her videos. It was called Never Let You Go.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes. And I think like it's a woman escaping from like an abusive marriage, and then he's released and she thinks he's following her.
Ooh, that sounds.
It kind of reminds me of that Rachel Kane book.
The Stillhouse Lake.
Still
Oh
Lake.
my gosh. Yeah, that's a stalker story. Even though it's her husband, it's still like stalker.
Yeah.
I haven't read that one. I know both of y'all really like that one, but it reminds me of that one.
It's so good. It's one of my favorite thrillers. Like
It actually, all those books remind me of this old Julia Roberts movie where her husband's kind of crazy and she like goes out on a swim and she disappears. What's the name of that movie? But that's a really good movie.
It is really good. It's like
she has to have the towels all perfect and all that.
like the hands facing forward.
Yeah.
oh, I have not seen that.
Oh my god.
Right Between Us, sorta, they said.
Yeah, what's that movie, Jessie?
I'm looking it up. Sleeping with the Enemy.
Sleeping with the Enemy. That's a good movie. So not a book. Maybe it does have a book. I don't know. But it's a good movie.
They said Creep and Before She Knew Him, which I haven't read. That's also by Peter Swanson.
Before She Knew Him, I don't really think I would consider that a stalker thing.
More like an
maybe.
obsession?
I think it's like an obsession. Yeah.
Okay. Penny said that for Scandinavian, the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Oh, okay. I haven't read that, but
yeah, I think I tried listening to the audiobook years ago when I did not like audiobooks, and I could not get into it at all.
It's very graphic, though. I haven't read the book, but I think I've seen the movie, so trigger warnings.
Back to Paranormal Romance for Colleen, Cassandra Clare, and Mortal Instruments might fit into that. I do not read any of those. Translated Stalker-ish, The Good Son. Huh. Please read Lars Kepler. I've never heard of that.
I guess that's an author.
Maybe. Okay, let me look and see what else we have. Okay, this one is going to be very broad and very opinionated. So it's unput-downable thrillers to get me out of a reading slump.
Okay, so one that I recently read that's like super, super quick, and another one that someone asked is like you read in one sitting type thing, or like bingeable thrillers. That's what I think about. And it's a short story by Samantha Downing, and it's called Sleeping Dogs Lie. It's literally it's only on audio, but it's super, super quick, and it was so good. It was like dual POV or whatever. It was so good.
Okay.
And it was short, so it kind of gets you into the thriller mood.
I didn't know that she had like short stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say maybe The Perfect Marriage.
Yes.
Like that one, I like completely flew through and I putting it down like to go back from like a lunch break or sleep, you know. I think that one's bingeable.
I had to look up my Goodreads.
I had that one down for the bingeable thrillers.
Yeah, I would say Every Value Break, because I read that like really, really fast. And I was in a reading slump before that. And it was like exactly what I was looking for. It was very easy. There wasn't like, I don't know. Since I've read that book, I've been trying to read like some of these other thrillers, and they're so like dense. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like, there's just like so many underlying themes that are just like, I don't know, like very detailed. And it's like, no, like I just want like an easy, fast-paced thriller. And so Every Value Break for me was like really great.
And I think the one by John Mars, I'm kind of like a broken record with that one, but I think it's fast-paced because it's fast-paced and it's unput-downable because like it's short chapters, multiple POVs, all of them are interesting, cliffhangers at the end of every chapter, and you just keep like going and going and going and going.
Yeah. I would also say, Monica said it, For Better and Worse. That was my next one.
I know, I was like, Jessie loves that one.
Love that book.
I read it this month, guys. I read it.
You did?
Yeah. I don't know if I was a fan.
Oh no.
It was like one of those books that like, I mean, I know everybody like loves it, and I know it's like one of your favorites, and then you got Jacqueline to read it and Jacqueline liked it, but for me it didn't work. Like, I don't know.
Looks like Gwen just
I read it after The Perfect Marriage though. So I don't know if that like swayed me.
Maybe.
Because I read The Perfect Marriage and I was like so into it. And then I read For Better or Worse, and it's a little bit slower paced. And I was like, oh.
Well, I read that one on a plane from the East Coast to Colorado. And then I had to put it down because I was doing all this crazy stuff. And then I finished the last half from Colorado back to the East Coast. So 3 hour.
You love that. And it's so funny because when I read it and then after I was like, I think they both really liked this one. So I went back and looked at both of your videos and I was like, ooh. My bad.
Yeah.
All good. I like The Night Swim.
Oh, you said The Night Swim?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. Playing Nice was also really good by J.B. Delaney. I think I read
Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris, No Exit by Taylor Adams, Bad Mommy by Taryn Fisher, Stillhouse Lake by Rachel Kane, The Perfect Wife by J.P. Delaney, The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. Like,
yep, I agree with all of those.
Yeah. I really like playing nice. Me and Gwen like buddy read it.
Yeah, we read
2
that
days.
together.
I was like, I want to keep going.
I know it was like because I knew she was working, so I tried to like pace us, but I was like, it's really good.
Yeah.
I'm looking for more. I'm going like a couple years back.
The Swallows by Lisa Lutz is what Monica recommends.
Oh.
Pitch it to me, Monica. Tell me what it's about.
Oh, if you're looking for a YA thriller that's actually good, The Lost by Natasha Preston is like survival torture chamber room with teenagers.
Okay. Okay, torture chamber rooms.
Oh, for real though.
No, seriously.
I was so surprised it was a YA book.
I would say I'm thinking of ending things, but I think it's also because it's a really short book.
Yeah.
I personally liked it.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, me and Jessie liked it. Jacqueline was not a fan.
But it was a really short book. I think it's like only 210 pages, and the font is ginormous too. So in one sitting, I think you can get through it.
Yeah. Dissent by Tim Johnston. I read this years ago, and still in my mind, it's told through multiple perspectives, including the bad guy.
Ooh. Okay, writing that one down.
Yes, no exit. We totally agree. Any Riley Sager is unputdownable for me. I like his first 2 books. I don't.
Me too.
His last 2 books right now.
I think that I've liked everything. I think I've given everything 5 stars. Maybe 1 I gave 4 stars. But literally, they're all good. But my favorite is The Last Time I Lied. Then probably Final Girls. I don't know. I'm going to do a ranking and see after I read his new book.
Yeah.
I love all of them except the Lock Every Door one. Like, I just could not stand that one. But in my video that actually just went live today, I actually mentioned about doing a video on like reading books I DNF'd and looking to really like that one. So I think I'm going to start with Lock Every Door. But I would say Home Before Dark is my favorite. Final Girls, The Last Time I Lied, and then Lock Every Door.
Okay. The Silent Patient, not a short one, but cannot put down. A lot of people do like The Silent Patient. Deja, we know The Girl's Guide to Murder.
And that one's really good on audio too as well.
Yeah, I love the mixed media of that one.
Okay, never heard of Too Good to Be True.
Oh, that's a book of the month. Aren't you reading that this month, Jessie?
It's on my TBR, but
you don't know if you'll get to it.
If not this month, definitely May.
It's for this month for me, or if not next month.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really good things.
Confessions. So many cliffhangers and plot twists to keep going. Okay,
nice.
I'll look that up. I read Dissent. Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Yeah. Will this live be saved? Yes. You can always find it back on my channel.
They're like, fingers crossed.
Yeah. I'm late, but here with my Guinness. Yay!
Yeah. Cheers.
Yes, Behind Closed Doors. Oh, Pretty Girls. Yeah, by Karen Slaughter.
I don't know if that was bingeable or like unputable because it was dark. So you kind of almost had to take a little breather.
I did.
I did.
I think
like I need to take a bubble bath right now and light some candles and throw in some rose petals. I need to get to my happy place.
Yeah. No, not me.
I think I literally read that one. I was like, okay, time for a romance.
I think I read that one and I was like, okay, let me pick another Karen Slaughter book. I read The Good Daughter right after that. The Swallows by Lisa Lutz was very fast read for me.
So I told her to pitch it to me and she pitched it to me and it sounds really good. So I'm adding it to my TBR.
Okay.
I'm writing it down like I always do.
Oh, is this the pitch? Is it about boarding school, dark academia vibes, protagonists are teens and adults, but the book is definitely adult. Okay. All right.
Sold.
Let's see. My Lovely Wife.
I really like that one.
Yeah, that one's definitely, I think, like a more like easy bingeable one.
Yeah, I think all of her books are.
So you could probably put that under stalker vibes as well, because the husband like lures.
He does.
And then the wife kills the women.
Yep.
Haley, unfortunately, I feel like we can't answer this just because it feels a little spoilery if we tell you if it was paranormal or not.
Because if we say yes, it was paranormal, you're like ghosts. And if we tell you no, it wasn't paranormal, you're like, ooh, so it was real. So we can't really tell you.
Yeah. Dissent by Tim Johnston was really good. Okay. Which Liv Constantine? If it's
the new one.
White Stalker, yes, but I haven't seen a new one yet.
They have one coming out in June or July. I think it's called The Stranger in the Mirror or something.
Oh, okay.
Along those lines.
Yeah. Have you read the Furnace series? I have not heard of that.
That sounds odd.
Yeah. Deja agrees with us.
Yeah.
Spoiler. Okay. Here. Have you guys read A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCready?
I DNF'd it.
No.
I tried.
But I have read I've read 2 other books by Kimberly McCready, actually.
Okay, so mentioning this author, I tried 2 books by them and I DNF'd both. So I just don't think the writing is for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah, I didn't like Lock Every Door either. I loved more Lock Every Door and Home Before Dark than his others. I think it just goes on like your reading tastes, because those are a lot more like slow and atmospheric. That's not what I go for, which is why I didn't like those at all. Little Secrets, that one was pretty fast paced.
Oh, yeah.
That was by Jennifer Hillier. Is that it?
Yeah. Oh, thanks for asking. He is great. I really.
He's so cute.
Already. Yeah. I'm like, I didn't want to leave him. I just read Lock Every Door a few weeks ago. Was not a fan. Okay. If you weren't a fan of that one, then I recommend
Final Girls.
Final Girls or The Last Time I Lied. But definitely, if you're not more of the atmospheric, do the Final Girls, because that's my favorite.
Or if you like read it in the summer, go for The Last Time I Lied, because like camp vibes.
Yeah, that's true. I Let You Go. So a lot of people told me I was going to like that because it was so emotional, but I actually DNF'd it. I could not get through like the first couple chapters of it. It was very slow going to me. I don't know. Maybe
I read that one. It was all right.
Okay, never mind. I'm not picking
it was all right. Like I wasn't like impressed, but
if you want to know something about me, if you rate it 3 stars, or if you rate it 3.5 stars, if you rate it under 4 stars,
it's a no for me.
I'm not gonna read it. I'm like, nope, not good enough.
There's just too many books that are like way better, you know?
Yeah, and like a rating of like 3.5, 3.75 to me is just not good enough.
Right.
It might be good enough for other people. But for me, I have too many. The Stranger in the Mirror doesn't come out until July 6th. Oh, that must be
the Liv Constantine.
The Liv Constantine. Okay. Confessions is so much. Man, everyone keeps talking about Confessions. I've never heard of this book.
I know. I've written it down already.
Okay. The Death of Mrs Westway. Okay, I'm sorry. I messed that book because it's not for me. Ruth Ware is not for me.
The same.
I don't know. I keep reading her books. I give them all 3 stars and I keep picking them up.
Gwen's a fan.
Even though they're only 3 stars and I know they're only going to be 3 stars, I keep picking them up.
See, the first book I read by her was Turn of the Key, and I wasn't a fan, which I know everyone's like, that's my favorite book, blah, blah, blah. And then I read One by One.
Oh, that one was horrible.
Yeah. And I was like, okay.
That one was horrible. I don't know. Did I give that one like 1 or 2 stars? It was horrible. But the one that I really liked from her is The Woman in Cabin 10.
Yeah, that's the one I liked the most.
Yeah, I liked that one. And that's the one that I read from her first. And then I started reading all of her other ones and I was just disappointed.
I read The Woman in Cabin 10 like years ago. I loved it. I tried reading The Lion Game. I couldn't get past the halfway point.
I read The Lion Game, In a Dark, Dark Wood, The Death of Mrs Westway. I've read all of her books.
Damn. And then I read Turn of the Key and I rated it 2 stars. And my whole review is all of the things that I thought was incredibly stupid and not believable. And I was so mad after reading that one. I was like, this is not how it would go. This is not a nanny. All right. Oddly, I think dark books are my happy place. Yes, we must be like twins.
I think they're just like subtle reminders that your life's not that bad.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like, whoa, glad this isn't happening to me. Last month, I read The Silent Wife. Oh, who's that by? I don't know.
I think my friend read that one and she said it was not, I think the author actually passed away too. And she's like, it wasn't that great either.
Oh, that's bad. Okay.
The author
Hi.
passed away, but the book was not.
We're drinking wine too. Thanks for coming.
Yay, cheers.
Yes. Yeah, Layla is parent. I need recommendations on mixed media books. Okay.
Oh, I have a ton for that. Let me
All right, go ahead. So, what Deja said, Good Girl's Guide to Murder. That's definitely one.
Yes.
Also
Dear
the
Daughter.
Lauren book is mixed media.
Who is?
Where it has like the text messages in it, the Christina Lauren one with the yellow cover.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's all of them.
So, Dear Daughter by Elizabeth Little, The Woman in Cabin 10, Daisy Jones and the Six, The Final Revival of Open and Nev, How Not to Die Alone, The Girls at 17 Swan Street, Memorial, With the Fire on High, Eliza and Her Monsters. Those are just a couple.
With the Fire on High was mixed media?
Yeah.
I guess I listened to the audiobook, so I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, of course, like Deja said, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And, of course, probably the second book has it, too. I've started keeping a list on my phone of mixed media books because people always ask me for recommendations for that.
Yeah.
Also, the Night film. I haven't personally
Yes.
read it, but I do know that has a lot of mixed media.
I know a lot of people talk about
The Night Swim, Sadie.
Yeah.
That new book by Eliza Jane Brazier, the one with the woman that has her face split open that has the stuff in her face, that does.
Oh,
What's it called?
it's about disappearing, right?
Yeah. I Disappear. She did.
What if I disappear?
If I Disappear, yeah.
I don't think I've seen that. If Haley wants paranormal, she should read Simone St. James. Yeah, those are definitely books that I don't pick up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They just don't speak to me.
I wasn't a fan of the Sundown Motel. I think it was just okay. I felt like there was a lot of stuff in there that didn't really make sense, but I have The Broken Girls too as well.
Yeah, I do too. So I wasn't really a fan of the Sundown Motel because I thought that the two POVs were so similar and I kept getting confused. Even with the years, like the years felt similar, the people felt similar, everything was happening in the same timeline and it was just all muddled. But I do have the second one because I want to give her a second shot. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Deja calling us out right now. I think I'm queen of unpopular opinions though. I mean,
but I liked both of those. I liked Turn of the Key and I liked The Woman in Cabin 10. So
nope.
I liked both of those.
I guess, okay, Gwen, fine. You can be the cool person. I'll be the uncool person here.
I think the reason why I liked the Turn of the Key was like this one particular thing that happened. And I was like, ooh, that's so interesting.
Oh, this is interesting. And we have talked about this before.
Oh.
So he said, Americans are kind of crazy at rating books. You guys say, I loved it. So I'm going to give it 4 stars. And actually, I'm in like this like chat group with some friends from my book club. And one of my friends, Erin, will literally say, oh my gosh, this book was so good. Like, you guys have to read it. 3.5. And I'm like, Erin, no. I was expecting like,
well, I think, okay, here's the problem is that we also I think the people that you hear like on BookTube and stuff like that, they also have to think about what's my audience going to think about? What's the trigger warnings? How is the writing? How is this work? I think a lot of people on BookTube, I'm not saying me because like I do what I want, but I'm saying some people think like, oh, but maybe I should lower their rating so people don't get their expectations too high. Or maybe, you know, it has some problematic elements and I don't want my audience or other people to go into it thinking it's like a perfect book. And in years prior, I've been doling out 5 stars. Like, I love this book, 5 stars, 5 stars. But then on reflection, I'm like, was it really a 5 stars? 5 stars to me, 5 stars to me means, because I had to readjust to my thinking. And Jacqueline and I have talked about this in depth on our podcast. But 5 stars to me now means like I will recommend this book to every single person. I plan on rereading it in the future. I want to read every single book that the author has written because this book was God tier. Like, this is the best book ever. So if I really like a book, I'm like, And I really, 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 really like it, it's 4 stars. But if it's like perfection, you can't touch it, another book can't measure up to it, like No Exit, Behind Closed Doors, like those type of books, 5 stars.
Yeah, I think I dole out my 5 stars pretty sparingly. So I also am always like, I'm like, why is someone raving about this book and then they give it like 3 or 4 stars? Because I'm like, now I don't know what to do, because they were making it like seem like it was really great, but then they're giving it. I think I had this conversation before where I'm like, in my mind, if it's less than 4 stars, for some reason I can't get it out of my head that that's a bad rating, in my opinion. Like, I only want to read 4 and 5 star books. I mean, I know that I'm not going to, because I'm going to have different opinions. But if people are recommending me books, I'm like, don't recommend it to me unless it's a 4 or 5 star read for you.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So
Also,
it's interesting. Like, that could be a whole conversation. I think we might talk about that in a podcast. If you guys didn't know, we want to have a podcast. It's Talk Bookish too.
Oh yeah. And we recommend lots of books there.
Yeah, we do. Tons. All the time. So you need to check it out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jessie. What were you going to say?
Also, something could be a 4 star for me, and it could be something like, oh, this is probably a 5 star for someone else, but for me, I didn't like this one particular thing, but other people could be completely surprised, or that's like the trope that they like, things like that. So 4 and 5 stars are like my highly recommended ones. Usually my 4 stars are like, oh, this is great, but this happened.
Yeah.
Or like the beginning was a little slow, or the ending let me down, but it was great otherwise. Yeah.
Or like you said, went in there with high expectations.
And I think the whole star rating thing is just crap anyway. Like, who freaking care? I would much rather people not tell me their star rating and just tell me how they felt about the book.
True.
Because that will make me like, know, like, yes, I want to pick this book up, or no, I don't. Like, I asked Monica, pitch me this book. She didn't tell me her star rating. She just pitched me the book, and I was like, sounds good. Add it to the TBR.
Yeah. Monica says she has a shelf on Goodreads of greatest hits, because my favorite top books sometimes are a 4 star or a 5 star. And not all my 5 stars are greatest hits. So in my head, I have 5 stars, but then I have like my favorites of the year. So I could give a book 5 stars because I loved it, but I might read another book that also is 5 stars, but it's like, wow, I'm never going to forget this. So like, for instance, The Perfect Marriage, I gave 5 stars to, because the more I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, this actually was done really well. Like, this was a really good thriller. Like, I didn't see things coming, but it's not going to be my favorite thriller of the year. Like, it's not going to be my all-time favorite. So even though it's in a 5 star tier, I also have 5 star all-time favorites.
Yeah. And everybody looks at the rankings differently. Like, that's the thing, because like I rated it 4 stars, and then Jessie's initial rating for The Perfect Marriage was 4 stars. But then I told her, I was like, oh, I was the same as you, Jessie. I give 4 stars. She's like, I actually bumped it up to a 5 because I can't stop thinking about it.
I was the same way with The Night Swim, 4 stars. And then like 2 weeks later, I kept thinking about that book. I was like, is this a 5 star read? And then we had our wine weekend over at Jacqueline's house. I was like, guys, this is actually 5 stars for me.
I did that with Una Out of Order, because a lot of times I'll do like a 4.5 star because I know that I enjoyed something, but I'm like, okay, I need to think about it. Like, is this pretty perfect for me? And with Una Out of Order, like, I still can't get that book out of my head, and I would actually go back and reread it, and I'm not a rereader, but to me, it was like really the character development of it. And like, I kept thinking about the characters, and I was like, gosh, I would really love to read more about these characters. So I ended up then bumping it up to a 5 star because I couldn't get it out of my head after reading it.
And then sometimes you give a book 5 stars and you're like, really, was it a 5 stars? And you bump it down, like in Holidays or something like that.
That's only you, Gwen. No, just kidding.
It was never a 5 star rating.
But seriously, though. Okay. Sorry. That was a tangent we went on.
Deja said she knows people who say some books are their favorites, even when they gave it 3 or 3.5. But for me, if a book is a favorite, I will I agree.
4.5 or 5. Dang.
Well. Why would you give a book a 3 star if it's your favorite?
Maybe because it had problematic elements, like maybe certain elements were their favorites, but I like the overall gist of the story.
Oh, if this is like too dark for you, like, don't read it. Or like, do your research. Like, obviously my 5 star reads are.
Let people read what they want, Jacqueline.
God, well, no, I'm saying that like a lot of my 5-star reads or books that I love are like The Sound of Gravel. I mean, it's literally about a polygamy cult.
Right.
Some people might not want to read that. So I'm like, if you don't like,
but some people do, like me,
cult and sexual abuse and stuff like that, don't read it, or like make sure you research before you read it. Like, I don't want people to just pick up a book because they say, oh, well, Jacqueline rated it 5 stars.
Do your own
it
research.
Must be a good one. And then they're like shocked at what it is.
Yeah. Do your own research, people, please, Lord.
Yeah. I agree with Gwen. Pitch it to
me.
Your shirt.
I will pitch it to me. That
put it on the
shirt. I will.
Want me to add it to my TBR?
That's my new catch line, Carrie. Pitch it to me.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's go back to some RECs. We've got RECs for survival thrillers.
Oh.
Survival.
So,
Fierce Kingdom. Oh, no accent. That's a good one. But Fierce Kingdom by Jen Phillips is definitely survival. It's about a mother and her son in a zoo. And they're like doing their daily thing that they like to do when they go to the zoo. And then they hear gunshots. And they have to like hide out in the zoo and stuff. So not exactly like survival how you would typically think, but and it's fast paced and it's short.
Haven't read the book, but I know both of y'all liked it, and I love the movie. But Bird Box,
that is survival.
Love it.
The cabin at the end of the world.
That's survival. Yeah,
I didn't like the ambiguous ending part of it, so
neither.
If that doesn't bother you, it's great.
Yeah.
So
I didn't either.
A little
I
bit
wonder if I
different,
rated it 4-star.
But Final Girls by Riley Sager is kind of about how this girl is the final girl and like survived a really big massacre. So there's like themes of that in it, which also, you know, how we really like Final Girls. Gwen and I were just talking about the new, what is it? Grady Hendrix. That's who it is, right? The new Grady Hendrix book. Yeah, and that one sounds
the Final Girl support group by Grady Hendrix that comes out this summer.
Good. I cannot wait.
You've heard of that one?
Yeah, it comes out this summer. I think in like June or July. But we're going to be reading it for the podcast.
Oh,
yeah. Later
in October.
Yeah. Survival. Okay, Room by Emma Donahue. It's also a movie. So this is an older book, but it's about this lady and her son. And they're literally like locked in a room, like pretty much her whole son's life. I think he's like 4 or 5 now. Because this guy like literally has her like locked up, and like the son is like this guy's like offspring, because I think he like trigger warning like raped her and stuff. So that one is crazy because you're literally reading about like her life day in and day out, like locked in this room.
I like how Monica said the troop is about survival, but I hated it.
And I'm like, same.
It is about, I mean.
Okay, July 13th is Grady Hendrix release date.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Okay. The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon by Stephen King.
Oh.
It's survival in a sense.
Oh, what about that long walk?
Misery and The Long Walk, are both like kind of survival.
Oh, I don't know, but what about The Stand? Isn't that the one about the pandemic or something like that? Like a pandemic or whatever like that?
So it's like,
what was that other pandemic book that I recently read?
The Good Girl by Mary Kubica. And that's what's that syndrome where you like start falling in love with your captor? That's what it is.
Stockholm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking Sherlock.
That was pretty good, actually.
Station 11 is kind of by Emily St. John Mandel. That's kind of survival, but it's not really thriller.
Okay. Unwind by Neil Schusterman. That one's actually YA, but it's really dark, but it's definitely kind of survival-ish because it's about this like dystopian world where when you get to like be a teenager, your parents can choose to unwind you if you're like bad. And that means that they literally like take all your organs out and like kill you while you're alive by taking all your organs out to use for other people.
Ew, that is
so like these kids kind of like ran away and they're trying to like survive, like so that way that doesn't happen to them.
Would you say Dry also by Neil Schusterman?
Terrible.
But it is survival.
It is survival.
So it's like an extreme.
And
drought,
so was the other one. What's the one that was by Neil Schusterman that we read? Is that the one? No. What am I thinking of? I
just said Unwind by Neil Schusterman.
No, it was something else. It wasn't Dry. It was something else. Maybe it wasn't even by Neil Schusterman.
Oh, a book that I just read that's like survival, but it's like child abuse is A Child Called It.
Yes.
That is definitely survival.
So crazy. Oh my gosh.
I read that one years ago, and I mean, it's just crazy what this and it's based on a real story, right?
Yeah, it's like the worst child abuse case like ever, or one of them. Yeah, super crazy.
I'm seeing a lot of Paul Tremblay's The Survivor Song.
Oh yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Oh
okay, yeah. So a lot of people said that. I did. Oh, thank you. I'm
thank
down.
You,
no. Anything
but it is survival.
Pandemic. Unwind is on my list. Okay. Oh, what was that one that we read? Deja read it with me, and it was like me and McKay and what was it? It was a vampire one. Gosh. I'm gonna
Deja, come in clutch.
What'd you say?
The Southern's Book Club?
No, it was a different one. Hold on. Let me look it up. Suffer the Children. Suffer the Children.
Oh, yes.
Like, it's about all of a sudden, all the kids in the world, like, die all at the same time. And then they all come back to life as zombies. But, like, the parents don't really realize what's going on. And they're like, oh, my gosh, like, my child came back to life. And so they're, like, trying to keep their child alive, but their child's a zombie. It's so weird.
Sounds weird.
Good, actually.
Has a crazy ending, too.
Yeah, it's by Craig DeLuey.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that one's kind of crazy. What other ones?
Do we have more? What?
The Gracier?
Oh, that is kind of survival. If you haven't read it, you should read it.
Yeah, The Gracier is pretty good. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah, there's Deja. She was, like, so good. OMG, I don't even like apocalyptic books at all, but it was amazing. Yeah, I could not think of it for a second. I read Wanderers by Chuck Wendig, and it's definitely a survival apocalyptic one and long. I know it was long. I ended up unhauling it. I think it's Wanderers, like Wander. But yeah,
because that's like about sleepwalking, right?
What was it?
Like sleepwalking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, loved Child Called It. You should hear his interview. Heartbreak.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
I'll have to listen. I'm on the second book right now. I'm reading Lost Boy. I love Scythe. Everyone loves Scythe. I haven't read that yet. The Dreamers is about survive a pandemic, but it's not a thriller. Okay.
Isn't that by
wasn't a lot of people talking about that like 2 years ago, The Dreamers?
But isn't that who's that by?
Doesn't it have like a black cover with like the rainbow? Like
with the letters that are colorful?
Yeah. It's really pretty. The Girl with All the Gifts. Carrie said zombies. Okay. What Recs do you guys have on your Instagram?
Mine was Thrillers with Kids.
Okay, let me type that in and we'll do that.
It was a longer thing than that, but basically Thrillers with Kids. So for that, I wanted to say Playing Nice with JP Delaney. Although they weren't a focus, it did involve the kids. Where They Found Her by Kimberly McCreight, which I DNF'd because I don't like her writing, but they find a baby, like a dead baby, and it's an investigation. Like, people loved it, but I just didn't like the writing of that author. If I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh, it's not really, the kids only in it in like the beginning part. The Couple Next Door by Sherry LaPena, and Fierce Kingdom by Jen Phillips, which I mentioned is the zoo one.
For that one, I had written down The Couple Next Door as well, for better and worse, because it's not a focus, but it's like focusing like what would you do for your son in this situation. I also put for The Best of Friends by Lucinda Berry. Gwen actually gave that to me for my birthday last year. But it's more about like teenage boys and like something traumatic happens and their moms are like trying to figure out like how to really go about like what to do basically. And then I also put Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. That one,
that one's a good one.
daughter went missing. So I forgot I read that one. So
I don't have a list because I'm not.
Oh, The Perfect Child.
Yeah, The Perfect Child is definitely a good one.
Yeah, The Push by Ashley Aldrin.
Oh, yeah. I just got that in the mail. I swapped for it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm nervous. I'm nervous
so
for you to
happy.
read this one. I'm nervous for you to read this one.
To read this month, hopefully.
I'm nervous for
I
you to
have
read
this whole
it.
week off, guys. So
that's like one of my favorite books of the year so far.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh, now
I'm pretty mad.
I'm nervous for you to read it, though.
No, I'm pretty mad that like you have favorite books of the year and you don't even tell me to read them.
I did tell you. You just didn't watch my wrap up.
No, you have to tell me like personally, okay?
Because I don't recommend it to you right now, to be completely honest.
Why?
Because it deals with fertility, infertility, not wanting kids, motherhood. I don't know.
I'll still read it.
I haven't personally read it, but I would.
Karen read it and she read it. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes, I know. I saw that everyone was raving about it. So I ended
probably
up.
because I recommended it to them.
Yeah, probably.
Pop off, Gwen.
Okay, kid ones. I should have like put this together. Okay. So I don't know exactly what kid ones they're talking about. So I'm going to probably not recommend the right things. But Gather the Daughters is a cult book about little girls.
YA.
Incest.
It's YA.
Yeah, it's YA. Little girls and incest. So that has kids.
I was shocked when you told me it was YA. I was like, what?
Let me look for more. Okay, The Perfect Mother deals with a lot of babies. It's like all these moms that have babies if you like baby thrillers. Oh my gosh, Close My Eyes by Sophie Mckenzie. One of my favorite thrillers of all time, and no one talks about it. And I don't talk about it much anymore because it was what I read in 2018, so it's kind of like back there.
Oh, someone asked for 5-star thrillers that no one talks about. So there you go. That person, listen to this recommendation.
So yeah, Close My Eyes is a domestic thriller, but it's about this lady who she had problems getting pregnant, and she got pregnant, but she lost the baby. And for years, she keeps like she feels like the baby is still out there, but everyone's like, no, like the baby died. Like, you got to hold her. Excuse me. You saw that she was dead. We took her from her, whatever. Anyway, someone comes to the door years later and is like, we know where your daughter is. And she's like, what? And she like talks to her husband and he's like, no, like, we don't even know that person. Like, you're just kid. Like, no, this is not a thing. Like, you saw that they were dead. Anyway, like, she like keeps going on and on. She's like, no, my kid is alive. I can feel it. It is so good.
Okay. Say it again because I got to write it down.
It's called Close My Eyes by Sophie Mckenzie.
This one has to do with like pregnancy, but like I would say The Secret She Keeps by, oh my gosh, what's his name?
No, The Secret She Keeps. Oh, I read that one.
It's by a male.
Yeah, I read that. Gosh, where is it?
I hate when you can't remember like an author's name.
I know.
I have it on here somewhere.
Oh, Mother May I, they said.
Michael
Robotham.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Oh yeah, Mother May I did finish, and that is like like black male with a child. I read The Child Finder by Renee Denfield. I only rated it 3 stars though. But other people might like it. It was a little like slow for me, but it's definitely about this like kid that goes missing like in the woods because someone like kidnaps her and like is like raising her like in this snowy woods. So if you like atmospheric stuff.
I just want to say Ellie is here, so I hope she's taking down all these thrillers with kids recommendations.
Oh,
this is for her.
Baby Teeth is not that great, but other people love it. Yeah. But it's like a naughty child. So if you hate spoiled naughty children like me, don't read it because it makes you mad.
Would you say Darling Rose Gold? Because it had, or Sam and Megan?
Yeah.
That,
they're like teenager kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good, Ellie.
Oh, Her One Mistake was also about a kid, but gosh, I don't remember. Hold on, let me click on it. I remember really liking it, but I forget exactly what it was from.
Yeah, no exit has a child in it. That's true, but I think Ellie's read that one.
Charlotte was supposed to be looking after the children, and she swears she was. She only took her eyes off of them for a second, but when her 3 kids are all safe and sound, that's right. She's watching her best friend's daughter, and her best friend's daughter goes missing.
While she's watching her.
While she's watching her, yeah. It says, there was a fans of Big Little Lies and Couple Next Door, and I read it a couple years ago, and I rated it 4, so I did like it. I said there was definitely some major plot twists I didn't see coming, but sometimes a little too much back and forth in POVs, and that's something I don't personally like.
The Shadows kind of has some like older children, like I don't even know how to like explain it, like doing like creepy like rituals in the woods and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, some other people said Emma in the Night, which I have not read. Little Secrets, yes, that is a kid. Creepy Children is a no-go for me. Phantom Limb, have you read that yet, Jessie?
I haven't. It's actually in my Amazon cart right now. I just need to hit check out.
Check
so,
another one. Yeah, another one is The Feathered Bone by Julie Cantrell. It's about pre-Katrina, and this woman goes on a trip chaperoning her daughter's 6th grade field trip. And yeah, the worst fears come true. She goes missing. So that reminded me of the one you were talking about.
I would say The Nesting too. Again, it's like Turn of the Key, but it's about a nanny taking care of these. I think one of them's like a infant, and then the other one's like 5 or 6 years old, maybe. So, and it's like creepy setting.
Dear Child by Romy Houseman,
yeah.
I actually have that on my list. I'm really hoping that I get it soon because it's on my wish list. And I really want to read that because like the synopsis reminds me of Room, which is what I told you guys about, where like the mom and the kid are like locked up. And so I really cannot wait for that one, which Room is a child. So that one would count. Big Little Lies. Later by Stephen King. The narrator is an adult telling what happened when he was 6 through 13. Oh, interesting. The Roanoke Girls, is like teenage.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say that actually.
Take it back about a girl who may or may not have gotten gang raped. And to prove it super sad but legit good. Oh, wow. I would like to read more books about like rape culture and stuff like that after reading The Night Swim and stuff.
And Grown,
right? Yeah. The other people, I don't know. CJ Fedor is not somebody I would read.
Yeah, I can't get into their books.
I only read The Chalk Man and didn't really care for it.
Ooh, Close My Eyes is $2.99 on Kindle. Thanks, Karen.
Well, I guess I'm hitting checkout tonight.
Yeah. Mother May I, 5-star. Okay, hold on. Where was I at? Okay, 5-star thrillers nobody talks about is Confessions, Audition, and The Test. Yeah, no one does talk about The Test.
The Test is really small, right? Is that one?
It is very small. Should we talk about...
Is that about the immigration thing? Okay. Yeah. I have that.
If you like Black Mirror, it's totally like Black Mirror.
Okay, I have that on my TBR.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about 5-star thrillers that nobody talks about.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I mentioned that.
All right, so like I said, Close My Eyes by Sophie Mckenzie.
I mentioned this in a couple of videos ago, and I think Gwen said she was interested in putting on her PR, but the Mr. Perfect by Linda Howard.
Yes, I did put that on my list.
It is a much older book, like I think like 2000, 2001. So it's pretty far back there. And I think you can only get it in mass market paperback, but it's so good. It's about a woman who works with her 3 best friends, and they all make this like list of like what makes the perfect man, and it gets kind of raunchy. Well, the list gets leaked. It gets like all this publicity. Well, there's a serial killer going out there murdering each one of the women, and like it has a huge plot twist at the end that you will not see coming. So love it.
And one that I've never heard anybody talk about that I absolutely loved. I read it this year is Since We Fell by Dennis Lehan. And I just want to say that for thrillers, I don't usually read a synopsis or anything. I just read like maybe the first couple lines and I'm like, okay, pitch it to me. It sounds good. You know, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this one started off one way and then like it just went a totally different direction. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is genius. So if you haven't read Since We Fell by Dennis Lehan, pick it up. It's so good.
I have a thriller series that I haven't heard anyone talking about. The first one's called It Takes One, and it's by Kate Kessler. There's 4 books to the series. It's Take One, Two Can Play, Three Strikes, and Four of a Kind, but they are really, really dark, have lots of trigger warnings as well. And then she also wrote a single one called Dead Ringer, and that one's so messed up. So recommend those.
Yeah, I haven't heard any of these before.
Yeah, they're really good.
I don't think I have that many because I think I do read pretty popular books. But The Close My Eyes by Sophie Mckenzie is definitely one. And then I haven't really heard other people talk about Where They Found Her by Kimberly McCreed. I know that Gwen didn't like it, but other people I haven't even heard of.
Other people have loved it.
Really? Oh, I haven't heard anybody talk
Yeah, I actually got it as a recommendation from another booktuber.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I won't.
It was one of their favorites. But you know what? I never heard anybody talk about Stillhouse Lake until you talked about it to me.
Yeah, Stillhouse. Well,
and so it is a series.
Died now. I think a lot of people are talking.
Yeah, I think they are now. But before that, like, and it's an older series. It's like 6 books are out or something crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, the 6th book I think just was coming out this year, but I only read 3 of the books because I'm not a series reader, and to me that was just way too much and too far.
I think you could just read the first.
The first 2 books are actually really good. I don't think you could stop with the first because it really leaves you on a cliffhanger. You're going to want to start the second book, but it is so good if you love, like, if you want your heart racing and you want to feel like somebody is after you the whole entire time. Yeah, that is definitely a book.
And a book that I read in October of last year was The Saturday Night Ghost Club by, I don't know what pen name he went by, but it's by Nick Cutter. And that one, it's really short. It's not really like a thriller per se, but it was interesting. And I think thriller readers would really like it.
Okay.
And I haven't heard anybody talk about it. I literally like saw it on my own and like picked it up.
Yeah. I personally thought For Better and Worse wasn't really talked about a lot, but I feel like a lot more people are talking about it.
That's true.
It wasn't before you. I never heard
I think you were the first person I ever heard talk about it. And then obviously Jack was the second.
I mean, I'm glad it's getting more hype. I personally really love that book. Yeah.
I don't think that a lot of people talk about The Good Girl by Mary Kubica with the Stockholm Syndrome, but it's definitely worth reading because I guess I'm just like obsessed with stuff like that though.
Yeah. And it has like, because you get the point of view from both the kidnapper, the kidnappee, and the mother. So it with like 2 different timelines too. So if that's up your alley too, I think you would really like that one.
Those chips sound good.
They're jalapeno ranch.
Oh, I love jalapeno chips.
Me too.
Jalapeno chips.
The one I talked about earlier about the kids, Her One Mistake by Heidi Perks. I do not hear anybody talk about that. And that one's definitely pretty good. So as long as you don't care about different POVs, could you imagine, Gwen, like what if you had a kid and you asked me to watch that kid and I lost it?
I would be pissed because especially after all 3 of us have dealt with kids and like, you know, like I just can't. After dealing with infertility and I finally had a kid and you lost my freaking kid, I'm pissed. I'm killing you. I've turned into a serial killer and my victim is you. Oh my gosh.
I can imagine. Man.
All right. Do you want to because I have some other recommendations that I was kind of like saving for other things.
Sure.
But I think that could also be with, I've never really heard people talk about these type things.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I know that I think Jacqueline, someone asked you about isolated settings, or was it Jessie? I don't know. Someone asked about isolated settings.
Okay.
So a bunch that I had for that, and they didn't want certain ones that they've read, like the guest list, the Sherry Lapina book. They've already read a couple. So here's a couple you might not have heard of. Well, The Woman in Cabin 10. Andy! Hi! I love Andy. Okay. Okay. So, The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware, obviously. This one is called Sleep by C.L. Taylor. And it's about Anna who takes a job at a hotel on this remote Scottish island of Rum, and 7 guests join, and the retreat turns into a deadly nightmare. And we have Day 4 by Sarah Lotz, which is on a cruise ship in a storm. And then Kill Creek by Scott Thomas, Writers at a Haunted House. And then The Girls' Weekend by Jody Gehrman. It's Gehrman. So Sadie invites some of her closest college friends to a reunion on her estate. And there's a night of drugs and drinking and stuff like that. And then the next morning, Sadie is missing.
Yeah.
Cool. So I have one, but I have more than one, but this first one is a 2-star for me. I didn't love it, but I know other people that did love it. I don't know why it didn't work for me, but it's called The River at Night by Erica Ferenkick. I'm not sure how to say that, but it is definitely like isolated because it's about this like group of friends that decide that they want to go kind of like on a retreat, and they go on the river, like through a canoe and stuff like that. Well, anyway, a lot of the things like happen, like they get lost, people die, they get lost in the woods. So it's definitely like very isolated because like there's no way for them. It's also, I guess, survival, but there's no way for like them to get saved, like dying in the woods, literally. But yeah, so other people said it was like super, super thrilling, but for some reason I just didn't connect with it. But if you want to check that one out. So Every Vow You Break to me was pretty isolated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After they get to the honeymoon, yeah.
Yeah, that one is isolated.
I put The Escape Room partially.
Yeah.
Because they're like locked in the elevator, basically, like for some of the book.
You're right.
No exit, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put this, and I'm not 100% sure. It's a very small book, but I also put The House at the Bottom of the Lake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're literally underwater most of the time. So
The Cabin at the End of the World.
I was just going to say that one. Yeah. Yep.
That's a good one.
Let's see. What
So
else?
that's quite a bit.
Yeah. I feel like I have read more, but maybe I haven't. Maybe I just really like that vibe. I mean, kind of the guest list because of it being like.
Yeah, I think that's the one that they were like, not the guest list because.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Unwanted Guest. That's like they're all snowed in a cabin. I didn't like that one, but other people do.
Yeah, that's the Unwanted Guest. That's the one that they said, oh, I've read that.
Okay. Yeah, that one's more mystery. So, Do
you want me to say another topic?
Sure.
Wealthy wives or housewife vibes. So again, this is one that I mentioned earlier, The Hunting Wives by May Cobb. I mean, it's like the perfect, it's housewives, it's wealthy wives, it's all that.
I would say the Southern Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires definitely fits that. I would say part of The Wife Upstairs because of like that whole wife group, like
yeah, I agree. And then I would also say The Last Mrs. Parrish too, because Daphne Parrish is very wealthy. Well, her husband is. so
by proxy, she is.
I feel like I have more because that's like one of my favorite like tropes, I guess you can say, but I'm really blanking for some reason.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that about you.
I feel like it's like a guilty pleasure because it's like reality TV drama in a way, but
like Desperate Housewives. I was just thinking, like, I was like, I totally need to rewatch that.
I feel like I could only read a couple of those. Like after reading those two, I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm done for a while.
Yeah.
Let's see what other people said. Okay. For Isolated, we've got Shiver, and then there were none.
Yeah.
Still missing. Man, I need to look up this Chevy Stevens.
Oh, The Last Secret by A.R. Tor. We both have that on our TBR, right, Jacqueline? Do you have that one? Isn't that the one that you gifted me? Do you have that one too?
What does it look like?
The Last Secret by, they're like swimming on the cover or something like that.
Oh, it's like two swimming, like to like a waterfall. I've seen the cover, but I haven't read it.
I don't.
You probably got rid of it, or you probably gave me yours.
No, I didn't give me. I might have it. I can't remember.
The Whole I've heard is Isolated. I would also say maybe Misery too, because I think that's like I feel like those two books are very similar too.
Misery is Kill Creek. I have that, but I haven't read it. Aw, I'm glad that she's able to add these to her Goodreads. Don't Look for Me has part of Isolation. Oh, that's what you were talking about. The Last Secret. The Girls' Weekend is a friend's group.
That's the one that I was talking about.
Okay. All right. Let me look. I have more on my phone. Let's see. Oh, okay. I saw the thrillers with books with 2 or more narratives point of view, preferably thriller.
All right. So one that you read, but you didn't like, Jacqueline, his and Hers by Alice Feeney.
I don't really like points of view.
But then Jessie liked it. So I guess it just depends what you like.
The ending was just like too far-fetched for me, but
and I know exactly what you're talking about. That's how I felt about The Escape Room, as I really liked it, but then the ending just totally flipped, and I was like, what? Like, what? No.
And that goes back to like one of the comments, like, why do we love our 4-star books? Like, I really liked that one. It's a 4-star read just because the ending was just like so bizarre, and I just didn't understand like how everything connected. But like, I really enjoyed the audiobook. Was really good. I thought our 2 characters were unreliable, which I like. So
oh, I agree. What Lies Between Us is actually a good one.
I DNF'd that one. I couldn't get into it.
That one's a 4.5 to me.
Another one that I DNF'd, but I know has multiple POVs, A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreight, that author that I can't get into her writing. The Sundown Motel, which we talked about, also does. The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier. Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. And The Girl Before by J.P. Delaney, which is on my TBR. I'm excited because I picked it up with Jacqueline when we went to the book exchange.
This is on my TBR too, but the one by John Mars, I haven't read it, but it has
6.
I've already looked like multiple reviews. Like, would you say 6?
Yeah, I think 6. And then also, was that one? The Marriage on the Island. I can't even think of the book right now. I'm like, how much wine have I had? The guest list has multiple POVs.
That's what I was going to say, because like looking through my list, I definitely do not like multiple POVs because the books that I read usually don't have them. And I remember when I started the guest list, I thought I wasn't going to like it because of having so many POVs. And I think that's another reason why I don't really read like Lisa Jewell very often, because like she has a lot of POVs in her book.
Yeah.
I think there's a limit. Like 2 I can deal with. 3's kind of pushing it. But more
I think
3.
I think it depends though. I'm either like 1 or 2, or like give me all the perspectives. Like 6. But that in between thing is just weird. I don't I'm actually reading one right now. What's the book I'm reading right now called? I don't know. But it's the one where I wrote here, let me check my Goodreads, because I literally just started it today. Don't even remember the name of the book. But it's a new one that just came out. I don't know if I'm liking it. It's You'll Thank Me for This by Nina Siegel. And it is based on that Dutch tradition where you take your teens and your preteens out to the middle of the woods and you drop them, and they have to find their way to like this campsite or whatever without like their phones, without, all of that. So, I mean, that's like between like the mom's POV and then the daughter's POV, which is weird because it's an adult thriller, but it has like this 12-year-old girl as like part of the perspective. So I'm like confused, like which part is going to be the thriller?
Yeah, I feel like I just get confused because, for instance, Vanessa was like The Drowning Kind by Jennifer McMahon, and I'm listening to that, and yeah, I'm halfway through, and a lot of times when there's like multiple POVs, I'll like one but not the other, and that's what is happening with The Drowning Kind, where like the one I'm like interested in, and then the other story I'm like, I don't care about you.
Sorry.
More attached to a certain character than the other two. I would recommend Lucinda Berry as an author. The 3 books I've read, which is The Perfect Child, you have both the husband and the wife's point of view, and then you have like this like caseworker. And then you have When She Returned, which is about cults. But you have the daughter, the husband, because the wife went missing because she got kidnapped by a cult, and then you have his new wife since she was missing, and then you have the best of friends, and those are with the 3 moms' point of views. Okay. So
yeah, I have the She Returned one, the cult one that I haven't read yet, and then I got the best of friends, so I need to read those ones next.
Yeah. And I'm excited for her new release too.
Cool. Yeah. Within These Walls, I have that, and I have not read that yet. That's Anya Alborn.
Oh, so Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pembroke. Hated that book, but I know a lot of people love that book. But that has
I'm one of those people that loved it.
Yeah, I liked it.
And I actually liked the Netflix show too. Was it on Netflix?
Yeah,
it was really slow to get into, but man, after that I binged it. It was so good.
Because that has the wife and our main character, right? Okay.
The Nothing Man, The Good Samaritan, You're Not Alone. Ew, You Are Not Alone was terrible.
And Watching You, I read that, but I forgot it was dual POV. So
yeah,
I didn't really like
has
that
like
one.
6, which is why I never picked it up.
Watching You by Lisa Jewell, that's why.
Oh, that's you. That's you.
Yes, that's it. Mary Jo, I'm the same.
Oh, The Butcher. Haley talks about The Butcher all the time.
Yes, she does.
Yeah. The Winter People, The Invited.
I have The Winter People on my TBR, but every time I try it, I don't like it.
I DNF it.
Oh, there you go, Jessie. If you like Lucinda Berry, read Saving Noah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot she has that one.
You read that one?
I haven't. I always forget about that one, but I have to read The Phantom Limb, which, Jackie, that one sounds like it would be more up your alley because it sounds pretty messed up.
Ooh.
Got Jacqueline excited over there.
I think it's like 2 sisters, and they were like in the worst conditions ever, and they were finally like found, and I think they were put in the foster system, and then like as adults, like something happens where they have to come back together or something like that. I don't know. It sounds really good.
So talk older books. I'm guessing you mean like a publication date, like not newer releases. You guys
Agatha Christie. There you go. Like that's I know. Like
King.
And Stephen King. I mean,
yeah. Do you have anything other than Stephen King? Like what?
Patricia Cornwell is a good one. Hers are kind of like mystery. I wouldn't necessarily. They're more like crime fiction than they are like thriller or like things like that, but they're actually like really good. So especially her Kay Scarpetta series, which is ones that I was like obsessed with when I was like a teenager. It's like what got me into thrillers actually. So Kay Scarpetta is a forensic pathologist and she helps solve crimes and stuff like that. Remember we saw that book in the book exchange, Jackie, the Body Farm. That's by her.
Okay.
And so The Body Farm, I would really recommend that book by Patricia Cornwell. It's like one of the first ones that I read. And it always sticks out in my mind because it like told me what a body farm was about. And it actually made me want to go into like forensic pathology and stuff like that. I mean, of course I didn't, but it just seemed like such a cool job, like a CSI type, thing. But the Body Farm is actually a place where like CSI people, there's like a farm, like a plot of land that they put bodies on and they see how they decompose in different situations. Like, let's put a whole bunch of, crickets over here. Okay, let's leave this one out in the sun. Let's put this one in the shade. Let's half bury this one. Let's put this one in water. Let's, so it's like, that's what a body farm is. And I thought that was really interesting. So yes, I would say Patricia Cornwell is an older one. Also like John Grisham and things like that. Those are all old school like, crime.
The problem with me is that I only started reading again a lot like 3 or 4 years ago. So, and especially with being on BookTube, you're kind of like trying to keep up with the trends and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like I honestly don't have older books than 5 years ago, because like, back then I was like catching up with like, Big Little Lies and like stuff like that. But those are still pretty like, new.
Fairly
I
recent.
know. That's why I felt bad when someone asked for those, like we've already talked about it, but the 5-star recommendations that no one talks about. And it's like, but that's what we're reading. Like we watch BookTube, we're in BookTube, like we're just kind of in, like if Jessie recommends a thriller, I'm reading it. If Jacqueline recommends a thriller, I'm reading it, but they've already talked about it to you guys. So it's like 3 different people talking to you about it. So Linda Howard.
Another one by Linda Howard, besides Mr. Perfect, is To Die For. That one's my second favorite by that author. And that one is pretty good. And it has a little bit of romance in it too.
Okay. Love the Alex Cross series. These are all older.
The
Insect Farm. Brother is taking care of his disabled older brother after their parents died in this position.
That reminds me of kind of like the brother thing is isn't the name of it called Anya. Brother or whatever?
Oh yeah. Jessie. Yeah, like so I have that book, Brother, but I sent it to my sister like last week.
Okay.
Okay.
Before you went to go visit her?
Yeah, so she was interested in it and she was like, yeah, I think I can like, read like a book or two before the baby comes. And she also just got the Every Value Break. We got that in the mail while I was there. But anyway, so she got Brother and she like started it. She read it in like a day and she was like, this was great.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really messed up and kind of graphic too, but it's really good. I was also say Gillian Flynn.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is older. Yeah. Jack Ketchum. Some people said Jack Ketchum.
Yes. Everybody talks about his books. I've never read any by him. He's on my radar.
Emma and Me. Okay.
Yeah, that's one that Mama Kay recommended that.
James Patterson.
Yeah, I feel like all those ones that we were looking at and we were like, oh, the cover.
Yeah.
All those people.
Yeah, Brother is good. Okay, let me see what else I have on my.
Oh, do you want me to tell you some? Serial. Oh, no, we already did that one. Fantasy for non-fantasy readers.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's do that one. So, fantasy for non-fantasy readers. The one that I'm gonna recommend is Caraval.
Yes,
because I read that and I actually really loved it because to me, it's like circus magic and not like fae and fairies and like that type of magic, it's like different.
But also it's not like the Night Circus. So if you've read the Night Circus, that's another one that people love, but it's not like that. Think of this. Like I'm a really big theater geek and that's basically what Caraval is. It's not like an actual circus that people go to. It's this elaborate play that this whole town, it's a whole town turning into this elaborate performance where people play a role.
Yeah.
And it's so not cool. Like, it's not real. It's like they're given a script and here's what you have to do.
Another
so that's a really good one.
I just read that I didn't even realize it was fantasy was The Midnight Library. And I read that because of like the time travel, like kind of aspect, but it actually is fantasy. So
yeah,
that was a light. Like,
who are you?
I know. Who are all of us with fantasy RECS? Jessie, what you got?
I personally like Shatter Me series by Tahara Mafi. Yeah, I love that. I only read books 1 through 3. So
yeah, I read the first 4, so I agree with that. And those are older books. Books.
They're older books. I bought the 4th one, but never read it. And then another one, I would say, if you like classic like fairy tales, like princess stories and things like that. One that I personally really liked was To Kill a Kingdom, which is kind of like the Little Mermaid retelling ish in a way. I don't know.
Let me look up this author.
That's all I got.
Shannon Hale is the author, and she writes these retellings. I read The Goose Girl by her, and that was interesting. Not my cup of tea per se, but a lot of people love that one. Ones that I wrote down.
Oh, sorry.
The Girl of Fire and Thorns trilogy by Ray Carson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't read fantasy, and I loved that trilogy. Ray Carson is just like a queen. Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I read both of those. I enjoyed both of those. The Bone Season series by Samantha Shannon. Guys, the reason why I don't read fantasy is because they're usually series, and are the good ones, I think, are usually series, and they space them out. It takes them 2 to 3 years to write the next book or something. And I always have to go back and read the first one. With the Bone Season series, I literally do not have to do that because they are so clear in my mind. Carval, like Jacqueline said, and Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. Also, if you have not read The House by the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, fix yourself, because that one was so cute. It's good for middle grade readers, YA readers, adult readers. It's so good. It's so cute. It's so whimsical. It's so wonderful. LGBT, cool kids. You got to read it.
Wow. Do you want to hear something crazy? I actually read a couple of the Lunar Chronicles and the first A Court of Thorns and Roses.
What?
Yeah, years ago.
I am shocked.
Well, I didn't know
This is
what my reading taste was.
Us knowing Jacqueline.
Yeah. This was like first getting into reading Jackie like a couple of years ago, because I'm like looking back and I'm like, ooh.
I read that.
I read that.
We've all been there, though.
Yeah, we have. I read all the Lunar
I
Chronicles.
also read Shatter Me.
There you go.
But only the first one. I only read like the first books and I was like,
Yeah, but I would say my top, I have to say The House on the Cerulean Sea, The Girl of Fire and Thorns, and The Bone Season. Those are my top 3 recs.
And I read The Darkest Minds. Who was I? Okay,
Yeah.
so does
Nobody knows you
Selection-
anymore.
Does that fall under fantasy or no?
What is it?
The Selection. Or is that just YA?
Let's see.
What does Goodreads say?
It's probably dystopian.
But I did read, oh yeah, you're right. It might be dystopian. I did read like all, like,
It says fantasy and fiction.
Okay, well,
Young adult, romance, science fiction, dystopian, fantasy.
Yeah, the first one I gave 5 stars. I loved it. The second one I gave 4 stars. The third one I gave 3. And then the fourth I gave 2.
I heard it's like not the best stories, but they're totally bingeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like the
I've
first
heard
one is
too.
super, super good if you like the Bachelor kind of thing. But then it just got really repetitive, which is one of the reasons why I don't like series.
Okay.
An older one that I really like is Practical Magic.
Oh, I've never read the book, but I watched the movie and loved it.
I love the movie, but I reread the book a couple of years ago. I borrowed my mom's copy and loved it.
Okay.
So.
We've got Mistborn trilogy, Penny says. Legendborn.
Oh, that's a newer one.
What Should Be Wild by Julia Fine.
I like that name.
Hold on. Scythe. Oh, yeah, Scythe.
Yeah.
Crescent City.
Just Sarah J. Maas. Just look her up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. The 7.5 Death.
Yeah. Oh, Carrie, you're sweet. I'm glad that you like her.
Oh.
I know it's not super hype right now, but I binged all of ACOTAR in March, and I don't usually read fantasy. Yeah.
I couldn't get into that. Like,
Not into the whole thing. Oh, The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. Is that her name?
Oh, Vicious and Addie LaRue. So, like, everyone, I think I might try and read Vicious.
I know. I might actually try that one too.
Yeah, I feel like I should, because I see
let's
a lot of,
try
like,
it.
thriller lovers like it.
mhm.
Yeah, and then I know you didn't like Addie LaRue, but I
did not like it.
was interested in it. just
Do
by
not,
what-
Jacqueline, just
Okay.
trust me, please.
It's really
Goodreads,
big.
go away.
It's really big. and the
It's
text
like a
is
million
this big.
words long and nothing happens.
Okay, no, never mind.
I have it. I just haven't read it.
Neil Gaiman books.
Gaiman.
Yeah.
I did not like the Neil Gaiman graphic novel I read, so I am not.
Which one did you read? The Graveyard?
Sandman.
The what?
Man.
Why did I get a message? Did I get a message somewhere?
Or was it mine? I don't know. Don't read fantasy, but I love the Wayward children's series.
Okay.
Dresden Files, Sleeping Giants. Oh, that's by.
Oh, I've heard that's a good one.
That's by the same guy that wrote The Test?
Maybe. You're like mind blown right now.
The Thief of Always. Alexandra Bracken. Isn't she the Darkest Mind person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I read all of those.
She's a no to Addie.
See? Okay, I told you. If Mama K says, Mama K says.
Okay. I really liked Addie the Roo, but I was still disappointed by the hype it got because I didn't think it was that great. So, Mary, what did you rate it?
2 stars. Just say 3. Say at least 3. Don't say 4 or 5, please. Oh my gosh.
I'm kidding.
It wasn't really good. It wasn't really good.
Yes, it is the same author.
Oh, there we go.
Interesting. Okay, let's talk covers. What are your favorite book covers?
We were in the book exchange
yet. I haven't go live yet.
Jacqueline's gonna have a whole video when we went to the book exchange, but she went to help her sister recently because her sister gave birth. Yay, baby Remy! And we went to the book exchange, which is like my favorite store, and it's like a used bookstore that you can like use store credit to buy books. And we were just walking through, and we're like, ooh, we don't like that one. Yeah. DNF. And then we looked like at these huge like Robert Patterson or whatever his name is sections, and we were like, I would never buy this book because the cover is ugly as beep. Yeah. Like, no. Yeah. And then remember when we went to the middle grade section and they had like books that had the same
Patterson middle grade and they looked the same as
like, why would you do that to a kid? They're never gonna want to read.
Oh no. She gave it 4 stars.
Oh. Okay, well, I can give you a couple of lower
Every
reviews.
Value Break, beautiful. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I love that like coastal, like, and the colors, it's like grayish, bluish.
I will say I am drawn to books that are like my favorite color, like purple and yellow.
Oh, those are your favorite colors?
Yes, I love
yellow.
Well, I also feel like they're not very popular. Like I have so many blue books. I love blue. Don't get me wrong, but I'm over blue covers.
Nope.
Okay, I really did not like the cover of The Hunting Wives because it had like the lipsticks and the bullets on it. I thought that was ugly, but it was actually a really good book. I like clean, classic, good fonts. Like for better and worse, great cover. White, title, rings, good.
Very interesting.
And The Perfect Marriage, white, rings, perfect.
Wow. Okay.
Also, Writing into the Wound, it's like something by Roxane Gay. It's nonfiction, but that cover, stunning. It's like this light purple color. I love the font that they chose. Love that. Una Out of Order. Okay, I read that for my book club, Jacqueline's book club, all of our book club this month. And it was so funny because like nobody noticed that she was separated by like years. They were like, I didn't even realize she had gray hair in the cover. I was like, that's the first thing I noticed.
Yeah. So when I'm reading, I don't know if I said this in a vlog or if I said it to you before, Gwen, but when I'm reading, I love when like I get to the point of the book where I understand the cover or I understand the title.
Yes.
Yes.
Mary Jo said florals. I'm drawn to florals too. Like
florals, poetry, Soft in the Middle by Shelby Eileen. Beautiful cover, plus size queen on the cover, covered in flowers. Loved it.
I love that.
Yeah, I think I'm drawn to stark contrasts. So like the first one that you picked up where it's like a black cover and then there's like something really bright. But I think I like colors a lot. For instance, like, where am I? All Boys is beautiful.
That one's beautiful.
And then let me look up some more because I want to show you guys like Slay is also that like very
like poppy color,
colorful, like it's almost like watercolorish that I really, really like.
When I think of covers though, I don't usually think of thrillers. I think of romance books and like all the illustrated covers. I love them. All of Talia Hibbert's books, Float Pan by Trish Dollar, Makeup Breakup by Lily Menon. What else? I love colors like that.
Like, even though I don't like the book, Heartbones is beautiful, that color.
Britt Bennett's book covers, stunning. The Vanishing Half, the Mothers, love that. Like organic kind of, you have to look at it twice type covers. Yeah. The Marriage Pass. Oh, that cover though. That's that the bright with, orange color
with the lipstick.
Yes, it's a black woman with orange lipstick, orange boa. Queen loved it.
I also think that like Home Before Dark, like Riley Sager's books, have really cool color schemes. Like I love
the push
all match.
Well, I think when they first released, like Home Before Dark was glowing in the dark. Mm-hmm. And I was so mad because all my other ones are Book of the Month edition. So I'm like,
only non-Book of the Month is what I mean. Like Book of the Month glow in the dark.
Yeah, but the push with that like ink blot cover,
the push is so beautiful. Oh wait, where's the book? Do you have the book that you just got from the book exchange, that the Prophets? And I was like, oh my gosh, I love
yeah. Let me go get it.
It is so
okay. Hold on.
I love metallics too, like the Wife Stalkers. That's like.
That is pretty.
Pink metallic. Love that one.
Other people said Jar of Hearts, which, that does have a pretty cover. Audition. Look behind Jessie, purple, pink, and yellow on her shelves. Oh my gosh, look at the Prophets. Like that is.
Oh, that is pretty.
I love that. I feel like I'm drawn to floral covers and dark backgrounds with white or pale colored font. Yeah, any type of like black background, especially if it's like the rainbow color, like the Dreamers and stuff like that. It's just like
I also really liked the cover of Good Girl's Guide to Murder with the red string across it. Yeah. And also, not that we really want to talk about it because but every Last Fear had that same cover, but it was like blue with the red string. So I did like the cover.
Oh yeah, the Lost Apothecary is so beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I thought the project
does have great covers.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. The thing is about that is that they always think we have the better covers, and we always think that they have the better covers. So I just, I'm only going to get the U.S. covers, so I just don't even look at them anymore.
Right.
Oh, yeah. 10,000 Doors of January is really beautiful.
Yeah.
I thought the cover of Game Changer by Neil Schusterman was really pretty. Again, an orange cover with black. I thought that was really stunning. Kristen Hanna's book, The Great Alone. That I think I'm drawn to orange because I think that's like the least. I never see orange covers. So like The Great Alone, even Grown with that really yellow cover with that black girl with their earring. Love that.
I love that camera and like the roses and things like that. I love that one.
That's beautiful.
The new You book 3, You Love Me, with like the multiple colors and things
like the sunset almost colors.
I love that cover. I'm currently reading that now. So
here's one. Cover Your Tracks. This is the one that Penny gave me for Christmas. Has the most gorgeous cover. It's like a wintry cover, but the bottom is like snow, and then it's like these trees covered in snow. Cover Your Tracks by Daco S. Offenord. It's like a Danish author or something like that. But that has a gorgeous cover. I could talk covers all day, guys.
Darling Rose Gold has a really pretty cover too.
Yes.
Pink. No. Okay, let's talk serial killer POVs.
I got some. They Never Learn by Lane Fargo, which I'm actually getting in the mail tomorrow. That's about an English professor getting away with murder.
That one's
and
really
then
fun.
My Sister the Serial Killer,
right?
Obviously. And that's short also. I can't say the author's name, so I'm not going to even try. Monkey Wrench by PJ Tracy. I think it's a little bit of an older one. It is part of a series, but it's basically like a computer game called Monkey Wrench. And in the computer game, real life murders are mimicked in game. So that's good.
Oh.
American Psycho, obviously it's a movie, but it's also a book. And The Surgeon by Tess Greertensen. don't even know how to say the author's name. Gerritsen, which is a killer targeting lone women, and he performs acts of torture on them. And they think that he is a surgeon because of his surgical skills.
Yeah.
Wow.
Serial killers.
I would say Brother.
Oh, okay. I haven't read that, but I want to.
Because you're following our main character and like he is part of like a serial killer family. Are you empty?
I will be.
I would also say His and Hers, because you do have those chapters of the killer, and with the audiobook you don't know who it is, and that kind of has like stalkerish vibes too. Those were the two I put, but I know there's plenty.
I guess My Lovely Wife, doesn't it have perspective from the wife?
I think it's all through the husband.
I think it is all through that, but that's a good one to pick up.
Yeah.
I think it still kind of fits.
I thought about
even
putting
though-
that one, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I read serial killer books.
Yeah, I don't often, but I'm starting to like get more into that. Like that's why I'm getting Tomorrow. They Never Learn. So I've heard that one's good. So
It is.
yay! I can't wait.
Because I don't think I have any recs for that.
All right. So one romance recommendation that we were asked for is, and I don't know if you guys will have any recs for this, but I put down a couple. So Second Chance Romance, for like first love, childhood sweethearts. And it's so funny, you guys, because like I knew we were doing this Recs by the Bottle episode, and I was like, man, I haven't read many thrillers. I need to get on it. But I've been reading a lot of romance this year so far. But I do have a couple of recs for Second Chance Romance, like childhood sweethearts, and then they're connecting later. So Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, obviously like my number one recommendation. So freaking good. God tier
Love
Christina
it.
Lauren. But you know what? I think I rated it 4 stars. Okay. A Swear on This Life by Renee Carlino, which is an adjunct writing professor that is entranced by a story that one of her students submit. And it kind of, it's mirrored off of her, like it just mirrors her own childhood. So she's thinking it's from like the person that she was romantically with, like as a child. So she has to like investigate and see if it's the person and all of that. So that one's good. Stars in Their Eyes by Pema Donyo, Pemadonyo. It's a 1920s Paris dueling. They have dueling ambitions. They're star-crossed lovers. They reunite, but it's for fans of La La Land. And then my last one is Every One of Me by Jessica Wilde, which, so Tessa has multiple personality disorder. And so she decides to kind of like leave her life behind and go off and try to, you know, strike it on her own. And then her childhood sweetheart, Charlie, is an underground MMA fighter. And then she like comes back and they reconnect. And so,
Awesome.
yeah, I love
I also put Love in Other Words.
because of me. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
because of you. I also put It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. It's
a good
not
one.
my favorite Colleen Hoover, but I know it's very well loved. And I also put The Right Swipe. I recently read that for the Backlist Readathon, and that kind of has like second chance because it's like rekindling a relationship that never actually got started in a way. I don't know. It's really cute though.
Yeah. I love second chance romance.
Mhm.
I need to read more.
I don't.
Jacqueline, what are your recommendations?
I don't think I read those.
I love it. I love it.
Because I read
But
Love
yeah.
in Other Words and I did not like it.
Yeah, I loved it.
And I don't think that I have any other ones from that.
Yeah, Jacqueline's like, sorry, guys. No, but those are really good. So, Love in Other Words, Swear on This Life, Stars in Their Eyes, Every One of Me.
I guess technically Eleanor and Gray by Brittany C. Cherry would be second chance because they had a romance in their like childhood teen years.
Yeah.
Later on, they're having a romance once they're
Is that the one with a mom?
yeah.
And
Mom died.
Yes, that's the one you always talk about. And then that's the one that I was like, Jessie, we should buddy read that.
Yes.
And I was like, maybe later this summer when
Yeah.
something happens.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. I think that's really it. because I don't.
Someone put romance book club in a way.
Oh yeah, that's Second Chance.
I can see
It's
where
not like From Childhood Sweethearts, but yeah, we'll go with it. We'll give them that.
They're about to get a divorce, but then they don't. I guess technically then After I Do could be Second Chance.
You're the One That I Want by Jenna, however you say that, Fletcher. Giovanna, yeah. Guys, I've had a bottle of wine.
Yeah, she drank her whole bottle.
I'm like, okay, let's just.
Oh yeah,
I haven't read a lot of Kay Tucker, but I do want to.
Haley said Eleanor and Gray. I actually have 1,000 Boy Kisses, but I haven't read it yet.
Queen Move by Kennedy.
Trina is here. Hi,
yes, Trina. I love In Other Words. We love to hear it, Trina.
For the serial killer, a lot of people said the Sweet Pea, like the Sweet Pea series, and then they also said
who's the Sweet Pea series by? I need to pitch it to me.
I don't know. I had it and then got rid of it because it's big.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna write it down anyway. The Sweet Pea series by. Tell me, Monica.
All right. Next we have darkest, most graphic thrillers.
Okay, so for this one, I think The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson. Karen Slaughter books across the board.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it really depends on what the reader considers dark. And when I think of like dark, I've read more dark romance stories than I've read dark thrillers. So if you're interested in trying a dark erotic romance,
go to
try Tears for Tess by Pepper Winters. It's a trilogy. It's super twisted AF. It's about anytime you want like slavery, kidnapping, and then they fall in love with their captor type thing, like dark romance is where to go. It was my delve into dark romance, and I'm trying to, like, Jack is like, I want to read it. I'm like, oh, but just be careful. But it's about like a girl and her boyfriend. They go to like Mexico or something. He's treating her like an anniversary type thing. And they go and she gets drugged and kidnapped and like sold into slavery, basically, you know, like that type of thing. But it's like so good. So when I think of like dark, I almost don't even think of thrillers because I think of those are like so made up. But like for romance, obviously it's made up too. But I'm like, those are so dark.
Is it like 5 stars so good?
It's like 5 stars so good.
Okay.
5 bottles of wine good.
Ask her tomorrow.
No, but seriously, I always recommend that book. I've even recommended it on our podcast. Talk Bookish to me.
Mm-hmm. I would say definitely Pretty Girls. But also that It Takes One series by Kate Kessler. They're pretty messed up, especially when it comes to like, because their main character is a child psychologist as well. So if you're looking for stuff with kids, that's also something. And then also Dead Ringer by Kate Kessler as well. It has to do with like a twin gone missing. And then you find out what happened to the twin and it's really jacked up. And then also The Butterfly Girls. And then if you're looking for a dark romance, Jacqueline recommended this to me, but I would say Too Late by Colleen Hoover because it is a pretty dark.
Domestic room. Like, oh, I think there's another one. Let's see.
Yeah. I feel like anytime someone asks about dark thrillers, I don't have a lot because a lot of the dark books that I read are actually like cult books and memoirs, which aren't necessarily thrillers. But The Night Swim by Megan Golden is definitely pretty dark, in my opinion, just because it has like the rape aspect to it. And a lot of times that can be like pretty graphic. And then if we're going into, let me just like talk about a couple of the cult books. Member of the Family is about Charles Manson and super dark. Like, I can't believe what the girl went through at the age of like 11, 12, 13, 14. Like, it's really crazy. The Sound of Gravel is about polygamy. It's a polygamy cult, and that is super dark and graphic as well. There's a lot of like sexual abuse. What I'm currently reading, The Child Called It, while I'm on the second book, that is extremely dark and graphic, like what his mom made him do. Like, I'm talking about like his mom literally made him eat shit. Like, can you even believe that? Oh, Gwen, we have 2 Gwens now. Here we go.
2 Gwens are better than 1. What were you saying? I missed it.
Oh, I was talking about like cult books, how like those are definitely a lot more darker than some of the thrillers. I feel like I haven't read a whole bunch of dark thrillers, even though that's what I prefer.
I think when I think dark thriller, I think horror. Like that's what you need to be reading. If you're looking for a dark thriller, go horror.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, there are dark thrillers, but I feel like they just never kind of go as like
all the way
goes dark. Yeah, like she does. Yeah. But I feel like I didn't get that all the way aspect until I moved over to like the cult books and the memoir.
Yes,
books. That's where
because and that's true. We've talked about that. Like with memoirs, it's more like this actually happened. Yeah. Oh my gosh,
it's super dark. Oh, The Long Walk by Stephen King is so dark. Like that one was, I literally was like almost throwing up.
Yeah,
very
you felt sick to your stomach.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It just depends what's really dark to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was saying. Like, for romance, for me, like kidnapping, slavery, loving the person that kidnapped you and raped you, like, that's way more dark than any thriller I've read.
Yeah. For me, it's a lot more, I guess, on the lines of like torture and almost like death, you know, like you're getting really to death.
Torture, I think, is like super.
Yeah, like that's kind of to me like what is dark and what I want to see.
And also anything with children that's inappropriate. That's dark.
Right. Like any type of like sexual abuse or rape is like really dark to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like if they tell you the story. Like if they just say it, then it's not usually as dark.
It's not as impactful.
So it's not
as dark. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have very many other ones that are super dark because it's really like the cult memoirs that really for me. Let's see what other people say.
Someone asked me.
They're telling you about Sweet Pea.
Okay, is it about a serial killer? She only kills asshole men, never children or women. Oh, in the UK. I'm like,
Tender is the Flesh.
Okay, you read that, Jacqueline, right?
Yeah, I just didn't love it. It's translated, and I felt like I was missing a lot of the story.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, I think I would actually like this because I'm a vegetarian. Where people have to start eating like people because I'm like, I think I might actually like that because I'm like, well, you guys are the meat eaters, suckers.
Yeah. The Jigsaw Man.
That's on my TBR.
Okay, so here's the thing. Now I'm thinking about it. I think that for me, just cutting up bodies and stuff, like, that's dark. Like, I agree with that. But I think that I prefer mental darkness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Real world, like, F with your mind darkness.
Yeah. Sweet Pea is pretty graphic and dark.
Okay.
Ooh, the toy box.
Okay, there's a recommendation. Thank you. The toy box.
Wow.
By who?
Sharp Objects. I'm actually currently watching that show.
That is dark, but that's like about like cutting and stuff. So that's like that's triggering to me.
Yeah, so Alvin and I are watching the show, and I'm like surprised how dark the show is.
I think the show is better than the book because the book read really slow, but I love the acting in the show.
Yeah, I couldn't get into the book, so I stopped.
Gone Girl?
Gone Girl has a good dark twist. Excuse me. Everybody keeps saying Chevy Stevens.
Okay, those girls. Let me write it. Those girls. Oh my gosh. Those Girls by Chevy Stevens.
Oh, Breaking Free. How I Escaped Ware and Jeff's. I think I have that on my TBR. Breaking Free.
Stevens. Hold on. Breaking Free. I got to write this down. Breaking Free.
How's that bottle of wine feeling?
It's feeling great, guys. But the toy box.
I wrote that one down. Oh, wait. I don't think I do have that. Oh, yeah, I do. I have this on. Yeah. Because it's definitely pulling.
Okay, who wants to buy me some books off my wish list? Because I'm adding all of these. Put my wish list down in the description box.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I'm going to be broke. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me tell you guys the ones I
saves
want.
so much by Chevy Stevens, but like there's so many books by Chevy Stevens. So like,
Yeah.
which one should I pick?
I'm gonna go with those girls.
Oh yeah, that's what I just added. Okay, so
Okay.
that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give you my address after the show.
If You Tell, I have that book.
What's that? If You Tell, what's that about?
It's a nonfiction book, and it's about like I think a mom that abuses her kids or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, send it to me. That's my new thing.
I read part of it. No. Remember, I'm just taking all my books to the book exchange. So before we go in, we'll swap the books that we.
Yeah. That's what we need to do.
Okay. I read part of A Child Called It when I was literally like 6 or 7. What?
Yeah.
Oh my!
I read it when I was really young too.
What?
Oh, I haven't read it yet, guys.
I would say
don't know.
10, maybe 12, but yeah, I did read it.
Oh my gosh, my child thought with the book, the child
That
with the
is
government, it was
hilarious.
fine for kids.
We talked about The Long Walk. Everyone should read A Child Called It. Yeah.
I don't know, nerdy girl. I'm scared.
Yes.
Okay, good, Mary. I might have to read it. I think I would like it because I'd be like suckers.
Her safe. Oh, by
Kate Tucker, dark thriller, drug trafficking. Yeah, I like drug. I like women trafficking, drug trafficking.
Interesting. Monica, who is Toy Box by?
Yeah, let us know. Okay, hold on. Let me write this name. Charyle Cox. How can you forget the last name? Okay.
Brother.
Yes.
Keep Her Safe is about corrupt police and drug and women trafficking.
But is it from the police? Like, is it detective-y? Because we don't like detective-y.
Definitely If You Tell. So yeah, If You Tell. Let me see if
I didn't write that one down.
It's a true story of murder. It says, for years behind the closed doors of their farmhouse in Raymond, Washington, their sadistic mother, Shelley, subjected her girls to unimaginable abuse, degradation, torture, and psychic terrors.
Oh, it sounds creepy.
Yeah, it sounds like what I would want.
I like this person's name, though. Fabric and Fables.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a blog name. Fabric and Fables.
Okay, did we miss any that people sent in to us?
Okay, thrillers with kids. We did bingeable thrillers. Oh, thrillers written by people of color.
Okay.
Tiffany D. Jackson.
Yep. I'm actually listening to Monday's Not Coming.
And I'm so excited because I want to get it after you. Yeah. Okay, Alifair Burke. That's the only one I've read. Surprisingly, I haven't read a lot of thrillers.
I just picked that book up from the.
But the one that I read was it was different. But I was like, I'll have to get that one after you. Yeah. So I haven't read many. I need to read more. So if you have recommendations, I'm looking in the comments right now. But yeah, Tiffany D. Jackson for sure, because we read Grown. I want to read Monday's Not Coming. I hear those
allegedly
are best.
So good.
Also,
so good.
Yeah, I want to read Allegedly. I also want to read her new release coming out in September called White Smoke. Remember I told you guys about that on the podcast? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that comes out in September. And then, Alifair Burke. Those are the ones that so sorry I don't have more recommendations. But yeah, I'm definitely keeping that on my radar for when I find something good.
Yeah, it's definitely harder, I think, for the thriller genre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Catherine House.
Oh, yeah, that is good. I read that. That's a good one. It's dark academia vibes, and it's kind of like a little, like you don't really know what's going on. That one was good. I read that one, Monica. You're right. That one was good.
Jennifer Hillier.
Oh.
So Jar of Heart would count.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know that. See, okay, that's the thing. I don't usually pay attention to that. So it's only like if they're like pitched to me as like, this is a person of color thriller that I really know, because I don't usually look. But now that it's on my radar, I've been starting to look. So
yeah,
thanks, guys.
The Jigsaw Man.
That one's on my TBR, as in I don't own it, but it's on my radar.
I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, it has a really cool cover. It's like you have to look it up.
Yeah,
there was another one. Did we do?
Who was it by? There's a lot of the Jigsaw Mans.
Oh, one that Jessie got asked is about fertility rep.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So here's the thing with fertility rep for me. Obviously, the one that I recommend all the time, and I think all of us can agree, is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover.
Mhm.
I cried like a little bitch.
Yeah.
Reading that book. Both times I read it. And I read it. It was my first book that I read this year because I always try to reread a favorite, and I've never reread that one. So I reread that one. And it's, I can't tell you guys like how similar it is to my story. I've talked to Jacqueline about it several times, but like dates and places and names and like literally how everything happens in that book is my story. Like I reached out to Colleen Hoover herself. Like I usually don't reach out to authors because I like don't want to cross that balance, but I reached out to her and she actually sent me a signed copy after I sent her. Like I was like, you literally wrote my story. So that one I will always recommend. If you're looking for like an interesting spin, I would say The Push by Ashley Aldrin. It's not really about like fertility rep or anything, but it's like about motherhood. The Mothers by Britt Bennett, which is about a 17-year-old girl who gets pregnant and has an abortion. So it's not really fertility rep, but it's a very interesting spin on it. Some other ones that I have, Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng, which it's not a main theme in the book, but one woman is born without a uterus. The other woman is going through the adoption process. Sing You Home. Now, this is one I have not read. Okay, let's see. I think these next two I haven't read because I just thought they would be triggering to me. But Sing You Home by Jodi Picoult. She loses a baby in the 3rd trimester, but she still has to deliver the baby stillborn. And because of that, her marriage is in shambles. And Zoe, it's called Sing, like la 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 la, Sing You Home by Jodi Picoult.
Oh my gosh,
so her marriage is in shambles and she sets off on a journey of self-discovery. So I haven't read that one because obviously it's very triggering.
LGBT also.
So The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman, which is about the couple that lives on the island with the lighthouse, and she loses a child for stillbirth and miscarriage, and a baby washes ashore, and they like decide like to keep the baby and stuff like that. Also, like some oddball recommendations for this, not that they're technically fertility related, but The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Obviously, The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, which is the follow-up. This one is a high fantasy recommendation, which seems odd, but it's called The Women's War by Jenna Glass, and it's given women the ability to control their own fertility. Whoa. So if you like fantasy, you might like that one.
Huh.
Cool.
Two that I think kind of are similar are Where I Lost Her by T. Greenwood and The Snow Child by Ewan Ivey, or I think that's how you say the author's name. Basically, in both of them, they spot a child who then dashes off into the wilderness, and you have to decide, like, is that a real child? What's going on? And they deal with fertility and stuff like that as well. I would say leave The Snow Child, obviously, for winter, but I think Where I Lost Her by T. Greenwood, like, read it anytime. But yeah, those are, so I haven't read a lot of these, like, some of them I have, some of them I haven't, but they've been recommended to me, but I've, like, waited.
Yeah.
I agree with you with All Your Perfects. I think that's definitely the best book that has ever been written about infertility rep.
It's so spot on.
There's like so many thrillers that have come out in the last 2 to 3 years that put infertility in the storyline, and I kind of get tired of that because I hate that it's always a crazy woman that's like dealing with infertility, and then it like makes her crazy, or an unreliable narrator. And I don't like being portrayed like that, just because like we are going through infertility. And like, no, why do you make the character?
Why are we like the trio right now? Trio infertility.
Yeah, but I think that there's this book that I read, You Were There Too, by Colleen Oakley. And again, I said it's a book that's like divided into two. And the problem is that it was like a 4.5 read to me. But then the infertility rep I thought wasn't done well. Like I liked that there was infertility rep in it, but then this is the problem. I don't like when books are saying that they're infertility rep, but then they have a happy ending.
Yeah.
And that's like really frustrating to me. So
not everything ends with a pretty bow on top.
Yeah, like if you don't care, like maybe you're just like looking for the fertility rep because you're like, oh, I want to read more about that, but maybe you're not going through it, or you like happy endings, then You Were There Too by Colleen Oakley would be a good one for you. But if you're like, no, I don't want to read about people getting their babies at the end because I don't have my baby yet, then like don't read that one.
Yep.
There's another one that I read that I also did not like, and I made this whole like video back when I first started my channel about how much I was angry about how it ended. But I don't remember what it's called. I need to look it up really quick. So Jessie, if you want to go ahead.
Literally the only one that I could recommend is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. That's not really a topic I really go out to look for, just because that is a sensitive subject. And like you said, in thrillers, I hate women being portrayed crazy because they do suffer with infertility. That's just, I don't know. Like when I first started getting into thrillers, I was like, oh, this is crazy. But it just seems to be overused and not necessary. So
yeah. So the other one I was talking about that I didn't really enjoy was The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, I think is how you say it.
okay.
But this one I got really upset by because of the ending, and it does have it was marketed as an infertility book, which made me really mad that they like put so much emphasis on it being an infertility book. And it is about like this girl who like she has like painful cysts and she's about to have like a hysterectomy and stuff like that. And so this guy that she's like starting to date, she like pulls away from him a lot because she's like, oh, like I don't want to tell him about like how I'm not ever going to be able to have kids and stuff like that. And so like I enjoyed that part. Like I'm like, oh yeah, finally a book that's like talking about like what actually happens to women and like those hard conversations that you have to have. But like there was a big communication factor that I didn't love, but then also the ending. I mean, obviously you probably can guess what it is, but I'm not going to say, but it's like, I was so mad that so many things went perfectly for them after like this whole explanation of all of these things that like, you know, she was so worried about. And it's like, that's not real life. Like people that are dealing with these problems and have these problems, like you don't just have all these problems and then you're like, oh, I'm pregnant now. Like, haha, that was so easy. Like that doesn't happen. Even
right.
people that have
I'm not pregnant yet.
Yeah. Even people that have unexplained infertility.
10 years later.
Yeah, they don't get pregnant easily. And so it's very frustrating when books are marketed as infertility books and then they still have not done their research. Like Colleen Hoover even said, like she did a ton of research, and I'm glad that she did because she wrote it.
And here's the thing. I don't think that like at the end of an infertility book, like they can't get pregnant because that's still another person's path. That's still part of the journey. Like obviously that's what we're all hoping for, but it gets repetitive when it's like every single book you read about infertility, they're like, and they got pregnant, and they got pregnant.
And I
always get pregnant.
I don't think that any of them should have that as the goal factor at the end. I think that it and I do enjoy books that like don't have happy endings. And so I think like it makes me feel worse when I read a book where I'm like relating to the person and then they have the thing that I've wanted and I'm not there yet. So I would much rather like
nobody to have kids. Whereas I'm like, it is realistic for some people to deal with infertility and get pregnant. But like I said, I just don't think that every single book
that when they're dealing with it. Like I don't want to be reading about that. I would just read about everybody else.
That's a romance book. That's not a thriller or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Monica said, I love The Return by Rachel Harrison, but I don't know if she's white or black. There's no photo on Goodreads. Okay.
Oh, I have the book.
After I Do, if I remember, dealt with fertility as well. Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember that by Taylor. Oh, she's white.
Oh, she's white.
She's white.
Yes, knows I hated it.
The French
Saw your video, Jessie. I know it. Yeah, I was like, in the video, I think I was like, all right, spoilers. Like, yeah. Oh, hold on. Sorry. I was reading I wrote a really long review for this book, The Friend Zone. And I even said that, like, supposedly the guy, Josh, like, he does his research about IVF and he gets his sperm tested and comes up with a business plan on how they can pay for it all. Supposedly his insurance pays 100% for IVF.
What? Okay, let me tell you how much my insurance pays for infertility. You want to know the percentage, Jacqueline? You want to know the percentage, Jessie? 0. My insurance pays for 0% of my fertility treatments. Fucking 0.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to say, are you guys going to read this book?
No.
Okay, mute really quickly. Like, here, I'll hold my hand up, and when I'm done with the spoiler, I'll put my hand down, okay? So, this is what happens. So I said, this book made me very upset that Kristen was able to conceive naturally, having sex only once without a condom, and carried a pregnancy to term without any complications. This is not how a normal infertility story goes in real life.
True.
Yeah. Messed
but
up.
also kind of true, because
and then the other thing is, okay, so the author wrote a note in the back, and she said Kristen's happy ending was never about what happened. It was about her allowing herself to be loved despite what she felt were shortcomings. It was about her recognizing that she wasn't defined by her ability to have children and that her worth went beyond the state of her uterus. That was her happily ever after.
I think that people dealing with infertility, that does become part of their identity, is that I am a woman and I am infertile. Like, that does define our personalities and our, like, persona. Because, you know, when you're our age, I would say anywhere from like 20 and up, like, you're expected, you get married, you have a kid. And I'm not saying every woman wants that. And I'm not saying that's the path for every single woman, man, whatever. But I'm saying some women, that's what they want. They want to get married. They want to have a kid. That's the path that they expect their life to go down. And when it doesn't, it becomes your persona. Like, I'm the woman that all of the people that I know, my neighbors, my friends, my coworkers, everybody has kids. Facebook, everybody I know has kids.
Yeah.
And I don't, because I can't. So it does become part of your identity, and then you attach yourself to other people that also can't have kids, because so you can commemorate with them, and then they start having kids, and you're like, I hate my life.
You feel like you're the only one left at the end.
And you start feeling like, I'm the only one left. I'm literally the last person on the face of this earth that cannot conceive. Awesome.
Yeah, it's frustrating. So, like, that's why I like that Colleen Hoover didn't write it in the normal way. I really appreciated that, because you do have to look for alternatives.
And it was also like, her book didn't just focus on the fertility.
Right.
It also focused on, because of the infertility, this is how their marriage progressed. And this is the thoughts and the feelings that she had. And this is the thoughts and feelings that he had. And it was very, not necessarily like what I've experienced, but like, that could happen because I can't do this. This could happen. And the thoughts that I've had, and the worries that I've had, and the things that I've talked to my fellow infertility ladies that I've had, like, you're like, damn, she hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Monica's cracking. She's like, you ranted like a mad woman in that video, but I had a blast. I agree with all your issues. Hated when that book appeared in the Goodreads. Yeah, I hated when, like, everyone was recommending it. And I was like, wow. I mean, not that I was mad at people for recommending it, because like they don't know what it's like to go through it. You don't go through it. So like it wasn't their fault, because like the actual romance was actually cute. Like I loved that part.
But also the thing is that could be one person's story. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be like 10,000 people's story. Like that's how it went. But I feel like if you're dealing with infertility, you want to hear your story. You don't want to hear the other person's story that had a kid at the end. You just don't.
Oh my gosh, I know. And that's what everyone always, that's like the only stories people tell us. They're like, oh my gosh, well, Jackie, I know someone that got pregnant after 20 years. And I'm like, well, that's not
great. I didn't. So what about mine that like me and my husband have been together for like 10 plus years and like, we still haven't had kids. So there's that.
It's funny if you think about it. I made that video like 2 or 3 years ago when I read the book, and I'm still sitting here with no kids, still going through infertility. Nothing changed.
Meanwhile, I'm crossing my fingers and praying to God that this is the year. Every day, I'm like, is it pregnancy test time? Is it pregnancy test time? And then you have people that have like medical conditions that prevent them from having
why can't
kids. And that's also a thing of infertility. Is like there's medical things preventing them from having kids, and that's not addressed in
fiction. The thing is, like, okay, so she brought up like IVF and stuff. Why can't someone write a book, like write a romance or something like that, but like actually say the true things with like IUIs and IVFs and going through fertility testing and stuff like that? Like, why can't
they've gotten pregnant, or they were raped, or they were pregnant and they aborted that baby, and now they're dealing with infertility and they're second guessing that decision.
Yeah,
that's
like
also a thing.
That whole like, there's not a part of that in books. You know what I mean? Like, sure, we hear about infertility and miscarriages, but the lady's always crazy and ends up the killer at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, like, why can't you be writing more books like All Your Perfects and make us feel like, you know, we're seen, you know, we're heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would love to see more books like that, because if I could read, I mean, I read All Your Perfects again, but it just doesn't, I mean, for you, I think it hit the same, but for me, it was like the perfect time that I read it when I first read it, and I cried my eyes out. But then the second time, I kind of already knew what was going on, obviously.
I was doing that ugly cry at night where my husband was sleeping beside me. And I was trying not to like shake the bed so he would wake up and be like, what's wrong? Meanwhile, you're in a car drive with your husband.
I was in a car with Alvin. We were driving to Pennsylvania. And I just knew that Colleen Hoover was my favorite author. I didn't even know that her book was about infertility. So I like started reading it, and I was like kind of crying, but I was trying not to cry because it was like awkward, obviously, in the car. And then I was like I just kept getting hit with like, oh my God, that's how I feel. That's how people treat me.
Imagine the same dates. Imagine August 8th. Imagine that date being thrown out there and you're like, holy shit, that's when I got married.
That's so crazy. But yeah, like Alvin was like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And I was like, let me tell you about this book. And I literally couldn't even tell him. I was like, I can't tell you. And he's like, why are you reading this book?
So I'm like literally smothering myself with my pillow. My whole pillow's soaked.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love that book. It also makes me mad when I read reviews and people are like, that girl's like whiny in All Your Perfects. And I'm like, you don't even understand. Take your review back.
Okay, wait a minute. This person just said, Monica said, you know what I hate in books? When the husband gets mad that the wife cannot get pregnant and she's suffering and he goes and cheats on her.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
That was like the hardest part for me, I guess, with my infertility journey, is like, it's in my case, it's my fault that me and my husband can't get pregnant. And for me, I'm like, damn, if you would have knew that, would you like still have married me kind of thing? And I know for other people, it's the opposite. Like it's the man's fault. I'm putting quotes because like it's nobody's fault. But like, so I think like Jacqueline and I differ on this. Like for me, it's me. And I think for her, it's him. But like, it's just so...
Yeah. The thing is though, is everyone always thinks it's the woman. Like, unless I am like broadcasting it to the world, everyone
Sorry.
always thinks it's still my fault. And it's like, I mean,
Unless when broadcasted
yeah,
to the world.
it's not anybody's fault.
Yeah.
But, like, the thing is like everyone always just assumes that like, oh, you can't get pregnant. Like, oh, do you like not, you know, whatever it is. And it's like, actually, like, you know, somebody's body is healthy. I mean, it could be both people. Like, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just like frustrating because like, even in my family, like they're like, oh, well, Jackie, it's because you're overweight, or it's because you don't eat healthy enough, or it's because you do this and you do that. And it's like,
It's actually not.
yeah, exactly.
Or like I
Like,
said,
well,
it
you
could
could have been
also be
exercising.
like,
And I'm like, well, joke's on you.
but also like I was saying earlier, like it could be medical. Like you
Yeah.
don't have a uterus anymore.
Exactly.
You have MS or RA,
Mhm.
or you had to have your uterus removed, or
Yeah.
like Jessie was saying, like, hello.
Don't have one.
Yeah.
Jessie's like, hello, this is me.
Yeah. I mean, for someone that was born without one, I mean, it's my husband's fault because I'm just like, yeah, do whatever. And can't get me pregnant.
Nothing's happening, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's cool that
So-
the three of us are like all have different things. Like Jessie's like, sorry. And Jackin's like, dude. And I'm like, yeah, it's me.
Yeah. I mean, I've known since I was like 8 to 10 years old. So, I mean, I've just always accepted it. And my husband, he knew about 3 weeks after dating each other.
Mhm.
So, and he's actually, I mean, we've both accepted it. And if we ever did anything, it would be through fostering to adopt and things like that. So,
So I'm wondering, I don't know if this is too personal for the live, but like, so do you think you'll do that? Or do you think you're just like cool being like just the couple with no kids?
yeah, I mean, we're both in our 30s. So right now, I mean, before the coronavirus, we were really wanting to travel and just like live our lives and have, you know, shared time with our friends' babies and kids and things like that. So I've had a few of my best friends ever say they would carry my child for me.
My best friend said that too. And it's still so freaking expensive.
Oh, I know.
Oh my gosh. Like my literal best friend that I met in college, she's had 5 kids. She loves freaking being pregnant. And she's like, Gwen, I will be your surrogate. And I'm like, holy shit. And I looked into it and I was like, damn girl, I can't pay those bills. So why? And why does insurance like this? And like, why am I like, is it Alvin? And then it's me. And I'm like, well, you and Daniel are good. Like, why can't we just happen?
Like, wait.
But I'm like, okay, there's still hope for Jacqueline, but me and Jessie, we're holding
No for
out.
me, dog.
And I'm like, okay, me and Jessie, I got Jessie. All right.
So literally, I will be the last one.
No, me and Jessie will be the last one. Oh my gosh.
And we also, you know, substitute everything with dogs. I mean, we have 3 dogs.
I know. No wonder Jessie has. Let's get another dog. I'm feeling another dog today.
I'm maxed out right now. 3.
I've waited
no.
9 months. It's time to get another dog.
Yeah. You know what Monica said about how like the husband gets mad that the wife can't get pregnant, but in The Perfect Wife, I also thought it was so ridiculous that if the wife doesn't want kids, that he still was like, oh, well, I'm going to cheat on you because you don't want kids. It's like, just because like we really desire that doesn't
Are you
mean
talking about the
every
perfect
woman-
marriage?
Yeah. What did I say?
The perfect wife.
Sorry. Yeah. The
Oh, you're
perfect marriage. Yeah. But it's like not every woman wants, like, that's not her full desire. So like,
Right.
you need to
And
not
that's
judge no
like
matter
in the
which way.
push by Aldrin is because it's not that she likes like, I don't want kids, but she's never been that one like, I want kids,
Mhm.
but she just so happens to get pregnant.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested in your thoughts on that one, Jacqueline.
The push.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or her like pushing out a baby.
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, does this title make sense right now?
No, I don't know what the. Oh, I know what. I was just thinking, I don't know what the push means. And then I was like, oh, I know what the push means.
Oh, yes, that's true. Because biology lets men have children at any age, and it's always the women that have to be like. Oh,
but don't they lose their sex drive earlier than women do? Don't women have a sex drive later than men do?
Yeah, don't they?
Because I'm older than both of these bitches, okay? I'm like the grandma of the group, to be honest.
No.
21 years and lost all my babies in miscarriage. Now I'm just old and over the whole thing, so we don't all get a happy ending. I'm so sorry, Amber.
I'm so sorry.
That's terrible.
Amber.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm glad that you're over it. And you're like, I'm happy for that part, but like also, I feel you, girl.
Yeah. Let's just all go.
It's like chatting with friends. I told Jacqueline and Jessie, I was like, girl night. One girl night. I mean, I've literally finished my bottle, y'all.
Damn.
I'm feeling good.
Wow, surrogate is expensive, but at least legal in U.S. Where I'm from Argentina, it's not even a.
Oh, you're from Argentina. Welcome from Argentina. Wow.
That's crazy.
Oh, you have to read it, Monica. It's so good. Like, I feel like if you're dealing with infertility and like, I think it could be a little hard, but like Jessie has come to the terms like, it's not happening for me. And I'm at the stage like, it's not happening for me unless I want to pay like 20 grand out of pocket right now. And I mean, I'm just saying, if any of you guys are rich out there and you want to give me 20 grand, I will give you my address. I will give you my bank info so you can transfer the money.
One of my friends said the other day, all you need to do is put your Venmo or PayPal or whatever, put it on your car and say, you know, hey, pay
infertility.
I'm infertile. Put it on your car. Go drive around to all the big cities, and people literally like it's on TikTok. Like people will literally send you donations.
Holy shit, I'm going to New York City. I'm going to LA, bitches. No, seriously, I have gone as far into my infertility journey as I possibly could have under our financial situation, me and my husband's. And yeah, I literally need to come up with 20K and then I could go to the next stage. So if any of you out there happen to be watching that have 20K, hit me up. Maybe it will happen for me. But other than that, because we're never going to come up with that on our own, like 20K out of pocket, yeah, it's not going to happen for me. And plus, like me and my husband are getting older. Like I'm in my 40s, my husband's in his 50s. So we're kind of like, is it really going to happen for us at this point? Probably not.
And I'm at the stage where I'm still trying different things. But I literally told someone.
Jacqueline is determined. Jacqueline is that person. She will be 100 years old. Bitch, it's going to happen this year. And I will believe her because she does not give up. She doesn't.
I mean, it's true.
She's
like,
obsessive.
I hate. I need
to fix my sleep. Let me read 20 books about it. Let me cook this recipe. Let me be the best about it. Like Jacqueline is that person. Me, I'm like, too hard. Give up. Like Jessie's like, can't even try, so give up. Yeah. But Jacqueline's like, no, bitch, I'm 200 years old. Let's do this.
Yeah, that is me. And I even said to my friends, like, I was like, because like this has to be like the year, like I'm like mentally preparing myself to like go through a lot of procedures, get a lot of stuff done, spend a lot of money.
Also, like, you have gotten pregnant before, so it's possible.
Yeah, I did. I had one miscarriage and we got pregnant naturally that first time. But if it like doesn't happen, I was like, I'm on the verge of a mental breakdown. Like it'll be really.
It's going to happen. When? We don't know. It could be 99, 100, 101. We don't know. But when it happens, we're here. Yeah. We're celebrating.
It is frustrating though. You spend like so much money for it, so it's like you're just wasting.
Why is it?
You have to be.
Why is it so expensive? Why can my homeless sister have 3 kids and I can have 0? I don't understand.
Yeah, but you have to like be honest and be like, okay, how much money do I actually want to spend to try all this stuff? Because like you just can't like go into major debt. Like just keep trying and trying. So like,
Yeah.
there's only so much trying I can do because like we don't have that money to use that.
Mhm.
I want to like be like
It's so expensive, but that's like another story. Is how expensive it is to conceive a child when you're financially like dependent. How much have I drunk? Like a bottle.
She said, it's good I hardly ever drink alcohol. It goes straight to my head too fast. I say, wait.
This is me, Monica. What serious? Okay, let's see how much. This is
Barely anything.
Yeah, actually,
barely anything. 100 and no, not 100. 750 milliliters, 13% alcohol. That's pretty good, for wine.
And you're feeling good.
What did I have for dinner? Basically nothing.
I have left.
So Jacqueline's like half a bottle in. I'm like a bottle.
I didn't want to get mine's 14%.
2 cans.
And Gwen over here is like, could you?
Does anybody have any more like recommendations they want to ask of us or anything like that?
I want to talk about.
Don't forget that our next live show is August 13th. It's Friday the 13th at 8 p.m. EST.
I'm curious what people are going to ask for because I feel like they keep asking for a lot of thrillers, and I'm like, guys, how many thrillers do you want me to read between now and then? I guess I'm going to have to focus on my thrillers. But the good thing is that I'm in the mood for thrillers. But here's the thing. Some of the books that you have recommended to me tonight that I have written down, Those Girls by Chevy Stevens, Breaking Free, The Toy Box by Cheryl Cox. We'll just go with Cox. Yes, Girl, Champagne. Okay, The Swallows by Lisa Lutz. Close My Eyes by whoever Jacqueline said. Like all of these guys. Oh, the Sweet Pea series. That's another one I wrote down. Like you guys have already heard of that. So like how many books am I realistically going to read for you guys? I don't know, but I'm going to try.
I think I'm most excited about the Chevy Stevens.
Yeah,
yeah. Everybody has been. Oh, and what about that Confessions? Who was that by?
Oh, and Confessions.
Well, who was the Confessions by?
I
think it was just Confessions or the Confessions. Let's see, Confessions. Because everybody was saying that. Oh.
I'm really excited for the that Jodi Picoult book you said.
Oh, the one about the miscarriages, Jacqueline. Are you sure you want to read that?
Yeah,
I'm worried about that one. Oh, the Swallow. Did I say that?
Nothing is too hard.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to read lots and lots of thrillers for you guys.
Yay!
But I know in the summer
on the 745.
I'm not interested in that one. I know a booktuber that had like a book club pick for that. I'm not really interested in that. I don't like that booktuber.
I read it. It was just okay.
Reviews on the Sweet Pea series.
Okay, Monica.
Oh, this is a good question. An anticipated thriller coming out this year.
Oh, hold on. Let me go to my Goodreads for the thrillers that I'm looking forward to. Actually, on my list right now, I have The Lost Village by Camilla Stein, which Jacqueline said was boring. I have All Girls by Emily Layden, which is a dark academia. Obviously, Riley Sager's new book. Duh. Let's see what else I have. Want to read.
Good by Samantha Downey.
Also, me and Jacqueline are about to do another episode of Talk Bookish to Me, our updated thrillers for spring to the end of summer, like August. So make sure you check that out. Quiet Her Bones by Lena Sign. Our Last Echoes by Kate Alice Markle. The Lost Village by Camilla Stein.
She said just one.
Dang, girl. Okay, well, Riley Sager, how boring is that? Dang.
I am excited for, I'll just go for Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney.
Okay. That's
yeah,
on my
that's a good.
list, too.
It's like I've had one book that I've liked and one book that I haven't. So
Actually, also The Maidens, though, by Alex Michaelide sounds like something I would really like.
Mm-hmm.
dang, why one, Vanessa? I don't like being pigeonholed into one.
Someone told me that 6 Weeks to Live by Catherine Mckenzie is really good.
What about The First Spring by Nancy Tucker? Have you guys heard about that? That's the one where the little girl kills a kid.
Oh my god.
Let me read you it.
I would say mine is You Love Me by Carolyn Kepnes, but I'm currently reading it. But I would also say The Secrets of Us by Lucinda Berry or Rock, Paper, Scissors.
I would also say The Final Girl Support Group by Grady.
Right. Okay, so listen to this. The First Day of Spring by Nancy Tucker. Chrissy is 8 and she has a secret. She just killed a boy. The feeling made her belly fizz like soda pop. Her playmates are tearful and their mothers are terrified, keeping them locked indoors. But Chrissy rules the roost. She's the best at wall walking. She knows how to get free candy, and now she has a feeling of power that she never gets.
What is
at
it?
home, where food is scarce and attention scarce her. 20 years later, adult Chrissy is living and hiding under a changed name. The First Day of Spring by Nancy Tucker. Hear more about it on Talk Bookish to Me podcast. Also shameless plug, not so shameless.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, The Perfect Daughter. I'm currently reading that, and I think it's gonna be really good.
Also, some thriller or some horror books that I'm looking for too. Goblin by Josh Mallerman. It's a novel and 6 novellas.
Wait, what is this?
It's called Goblin, and the cover is so good. It's like a girl standing in front of like a hedge maze.
I love Josh Mallerman.
I know. So it's okay. Let me get to the point where it says Goblin seems like any other ordinary small town, but with the master storyteller Josh Mallerman as your tour guide, you'll discover the secrets that hide behind its closed doors. These 6 novellas tell the story of a place where the rain is always falling, nighttime is always near, and your darkest fears and desires await. Welcome to Goblin.
Oh,
Oh.
Harpine Bridge by
Oh,
Taylor
yeah.
Adams.
Oh, obviously.
Yes.
Hell yes. Hell
Yeah.
yes.
Cannot wait.
What is this? A Dark and Secret Place by Jen Williams. The Disappearing Act by Catherine
away
Stedman. The Maidens by Michaelides.
Don't give away everything,
Bridge.
Gwen, or they won't listen to the podcast.
The Weekend by Kara Thomas. Girl, I have thousands. Okay. We Were Never Here by Andrea Bartz. Here's the one that we're reading for the podcast, The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. Samantha Downing's new book, For Your Own Good.
Mhm.
Uh-oh.
Oh, YA. Ooh, you like No Exit more? See, that's what I'm saying. No Exit is like pinnacle. No book will ever reach that God tier level.
Mhm.
And now I'm hearing the Hairpin Bridge one. Okay, not surprised. The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins, which follows a serial killer. It's a YA story, so we know it's not going to get dark. But there's someone inside. Okay, a traditional backwoods horror story set first page to last in the woods of some national forest in the Blue Ridge Mountains. 2 girls go backpacking in the woods. Things go very wrong, and then their path collides with a serial killer.
What's this called?
It's The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins. Oh, also All's Well by Muna Awad. Like,
Wait, is it YA?
Yeah, it's YA.
Oh.
I hated Bunny. We all know this. I rated it 1 star. But like All's Well, like Greek tragedy vibes, theater vibes. I'm here for it. Okay, I'll stop.
Wait, Gwen, you don't want to read The Therapist by B.A. Paris?
I do. It's on my list. Okay, but here's the thing. I have read all of B.A. Paris's books. Behind Closed Doors, God tier. All of the other ones, womp womp. And in fact, last year's release, garbage. The Dilemma, pre-ordered it from Book Depository. Garbage.
Yep.
But The Therapist actually sounds pretty good. So it's on my radar. It is anticipated, but like I'm gonna wait for some reviews.
Oh yeah, The Perfect Family by Robin Harding. I'm interested in that.
Oh, I don't know if I've read any books by them. I'm a little too drunk to know that right now.
Oh, Mahari McFarlane is has a new book coming out, and it's again the lady that wrote If I Never Met You, which is a book that like a lot of people didn't like, but I actually really liked it. But anyway, the people are in their 30s again, which is one of the reasons why I liked that first book. It's
called
Just Last Night.
Just Last Night?
Mm-hmm.
What about this one? How to Kill Your Best Friend by Lexi Elliott.
Oh, man.
I've seen that one on NetGalley, and I never requested it.
So if
What
you
about
suspected
Malibu
your
Rising?
best friend, that's not a thriller, but
I know, but still.
What is it?
Malibu Rising? Like,
Like
Reed?
Taylor,
Oh.
my pumpkin queen. And I'm also doing like a very most anticipated thing for my book club for it. So I'm really excited. Okay. Okay. How to Kill Your Best Friend. Jacqueline, watch out, bitch. Okay. If you suspected your best friend, the person you were closest to in the whole world, was a murderer, what would you do? Would you confront her? Would you help keep her secret? Or would you begin to feel afraid? Most importantly, why don't you feel safe now that she's dead?
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yes.
Sherry LaPena has a new book coming out too. Sherry LaPena.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, it's called Not a Happy Family. It comes out July, actually.
Not a happy
But
family.
remember the description. It's like wealthy family. And
Yeah, I love rich
they're
girl
getting
eyes.
murdered, but their 3 kids are fighting over their inheritance too.
I love inheritance story, Jacqueline, not so much.
Holly Jackson has a new book coming out.
Who?
Holly Jackson, who wrote The Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Oh.
As Good as Dead.
Oh, is that like the 3rd book or something?
I think so.
I haven't read the second.
Oh, I can't type.
Oh,
guys.
Sandy Jones has another book coming out.
Who does?
Sandy Jones,
Who's
who wrote The
that?
Other Woman. And wow.
Who's that?
I'm like, wow. And I'm like, is it really wow?
Yeah, I really like Sandy Jones books. It's called The Guilt Trip, and it looks like Rachel and Noah have been friends since they've met, and like 6 friends are like going somewhere. It looks like the cover looks like the guest list or like Every Vow You Break. So I'm gonna read it.
I mentioned before the new Liv Constantine book as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah, I just added that to mine because I didn't have it on here.
There's a new Mary Kubica, Local Woman Missing, coming out.
Oh, cool. Everyone's loving Drunk Gwen. I love Drunk Gwen. Drunk Gwen. Yes, I'm loving Drunk Gwen. I have The Good Sister on Kindle. Is it good? Have you read it? By the writer who wrote The Mother-in-Law. Oh, I have not.
Oh, I've heard that's been getting some hype lately.
Interesting.
But I haven't personally read it. I think I read The Mother-in-Law, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, I didn't read it. Sally Hepworth, right? Isn't that the name of it?
Yeah.
Where did Gwen go? Did she die?
Possibly. Hello.
There you are. Gwen.
Hello.
Look at this. I love drunk Gwen. Drunk Gwen.
I do too.
Yes, I'm loving drunk.
I'm just saying though that I save it for you guys. But like I literally am like the most fun drunk. So send me alcohol, send me books. I'll be your friend.
You send your money for her.
Infertility Club down below.
All right. Do you guys think that you got enough recommendations for tonight?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about my recommendations. But like seriously, I have how many books do you guys have on your like TBR? Jacqueline, you're a minimalist. Me and Jessie are not. Jessie, how many books do you have on your physical TBR?
Oh.
Is that whole bookshelf your TBR?
No, they're all of the books. And then I have like
that's all the books you own. Are you turning into Jacqueline?
No, I have a few scattered elsewhere. Like I have all my Stephen King's on its own bookshelf. I have.
Okay, do you keep books that you have read but you're keeping?
Yes.
Okay, because I was about to say, what? Am I not invited into the clique anymore?
No, if I didn't like it that enough to keep it, I get rid of it or swap for it or I give it.
So how do you judge if you get rid of it?
I would keep it if I want to give it to my friends or coworkers who also read so they can read it.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't lend out my books.
I'm very picky. When I do.
I am very picky.
You were lying when you told me you were going to give me the 3 women.
Okay, maybe. No, bitch, I really would have. Okay, for like my very best friend that takes care of their books. And I gave my neighbor a book to borrow, which they haven't given back yet. It's a really short book. So that annoys me.
Yeah.
But like I don't have friends outside of like you guys. So like I don't typically like lend out my books to people. You know, people lend me books, which I really like. But because here's the problem. I lend out books like collector's editions and they move away out of state and they take my book with them. Bye-bye, Black Beauty, Threads edition, Penguin edition. Bye-bye. Yeah, that happened. And I'm like, okay. But then you have a neighbor that like works at Barnes & Noble, or she used to. They're like retired now or whatever. But they're moving to Colorado. And she's like, oh my God, any books that I lend you can like totally keep. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. And then she like lent me this book and she's like, oh, just in case you needed something to read, there's Jessie's dogs. And she's like, oh, here's a book. You really need to read it. And she's like, oh, did you finish with that book yet? I'm like, bitch, I have like 200 books on my TBR. No, I did not read that book yet. That's historical fiction. Like,
yeah,
no,
I know.
Like, because I wanted to lend that out to my girlfriend. I'm like, oh. And then I lie to her. And I'm like, oh my God, it's totally available at the library. I started it. It's so good. Oh my God. But yeah, totally give it to your friend. I can just borrow it from the library.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so I don't really lend out my books a lot. I would to Jessie and Jacqueline though, because I know they'll give them back in good condition and stuff. But I have literally like over 100 books. I've made a video about it. My TBR dollhouse. It's a dollhouse I found at Goodwill for like $40. It's like one of those. What are those really popular like puzzle people? Something and something. I don't know. Anyway, I got this really nice wooden dollhouse at a good like a thrift store for like $40, and it came with a whole bunch of stuff. And I put all my books on it, and yeah, that's how mine's gonna be for Epic and Fables. Like seriously, anybody got some money? But yeah, so I have like literally like 150 books, and I was telling Jacqueline, I was showing her in a Marco Polo. I was like, wait. No, I had to pee, Monica. So I have this whole stack of books that I couldn't fit on my dollhouse. And then I have new books. Oh, I have a book haul coming on Sunday. Yeah. So you guys,
Is that
it's a huge spring book
Or the
haul
book
on
exchange?
Sunday. But no, they don't include the books from the book exchange because we went to that after I filmed the book haul. So if you want to see some new books that I got, check out that book haul on Sunday at, I don't know, whatever time on Gwendolyn Kensinger. And then I'll have another book haul later that you could see in Jacqueline's video whenever she posts it.
tomorrow? I'll have it go up tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow. Yeah. So I didn't know if I should do like a separate book haul for that, but I got some really good books, don't you think?
Yeah. We're also like, I cracked up at us when I was like editing our vlog.
Oh my gosh, check us out at Talk Bookers Podcast on Instagram because I posted some of the outtake pictures and I'm like, exactly, because I went like this and then I did something else and then Jacqueline started
It was funny because like I was watching that footage and it wasn't even the part where we were like, okay, we need a thumbnail. It was just like we started filming and we were like, ah!
But wait a minute. When we were like thumbnail time, we were like, boom.
Yeah, and then we just sat there.
Literally waited the same amount of time, and then we were like, and done. And we were like, oh my God, we're booktubers.
I'm pretty sure we kept that whole thing in too, so you can see the awkward silence.
Because we're literally like talking like I'm putting my keys and I'm doing all the things.
And then I have the
moving
part where
my
there's
chair in my car. And then like we're like, thumbnail time.
Yeah.
And we're like, boom.
And then I have the part where the seagull is like, ah! And we're like,
We're at the beach,
Yeah,
guys. Meanwhile, I wish, okay, Jacqueline and Jessie live really close to each other, but they live on the opposite side of the state from me, it feels like. And I live like all the way on the East Coast, like Virginia Beach, East Coast. And I'm like, please move closer.
yeah, Jessie
We're
comes to
here.
my house tomorrow.
What?
Yeah.
What? What?
I'm having a game night with like local people.
Jesse's going?
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's not local. Okay.
It's about 45 minutes away.
Jacqueline, when we only got to hang out the once, I was really sad. And I told my husband, I was like, when can I go visit Jacqueline? I was like, she does get a spring break. Like, maybe I could go visit. But then he was like, but you know, your car's expired. And I was like, yeah, I haven't had my car inspected since May of 2020.
Wait, how did you come visit me in November?
I just did it. So yeah.
Wow.
So I'm a little expired on my car inspection, but as soon as I get that taken care of, I'm coming to visit. Oh my God, I'm so jealous now. Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Can it be virtual? Can I like pop in?
Well, maybe I'll do a virtual birthday party for me next month.
No, I'm being there in person for your birthday, bitch.
Oh, okay.
We're going to the winery this year.
Yeah. Well,
Because, oh my God, we get our COVID things all the time.
Allison's like dying at you.
Oh my God. This is why they like me, because when I'm drunk, I'm fun. But other times I'm boring.
No.
All the time.
Now, are you really having a game night?
Yeah, it's like for mostly work friends, but I'm inviting like my brother and his girlfriend because
And Jessie?
and Jessie, yeah.
I'm so jealous. But there's literally nothing to do where they live, guys. I live in Virginia Beach. Yes! Send me some card section. Also for lazy husband. Remember how I went to come visit you? Do you remember when I came to visit you? And the first time I came to visit you, and I was up before you because you wake up at like 10 o'clock or something. And Alvin walked out and he was like, I'm going to get the oil changed. And I was like, oh my God. I wish my husband was like that.
He doesn't.
Proof down there by Vanessa. Go fund me for car
Also,
inspection.
I'm not coming back to Virginia Beach next week.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually coming May 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay. That's close enough.
Because Alvin's going to come with, so.
Oh, okay, cool. Can I please have an afternoon, like 2 hours?
Yeah, well, we definitely can if Alvin's there, because then I won't feel bad, like, leaving them, and then Alvin.
Yeah, I'd be like, Alvin's here.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what does he know?
Like, photos and stuff, so I'll be better prepared that time.
By the way, Jacqueline's a cougar. Her husband's younger than she is. It's true. My cougar friend Jacqueline. But I wanted to go to the other book exchanges
to finish this up, because then we're going to end it right at the 3-hour mark.
Oh my gosh, have we really been on here for 3 hours?
Yeah, and no one's going to watch the whole thing if they see it's 3 hours long.
Oh my god. It's my fault because I got drunk.
Literally still 23 people are on here, and the most we had was 41, so.
That's pretty good. I think Haley got her. That's why you need to marry a chick. True
so
story.
Go to get your car inspected.
True story, Fabric and Fables. You know any single chicks? I mean, are you saying you're single?
But I'm off the whole week, so maybe we could play Animal Crossing.
I know, but I was also thinking, like, I know you have. Okay, here's the thing about Jacqueline is she literally has, like, she says that she's a full-time employee, right? But she's talking about, like, her normal, like, 401k job. But, like, she also has, like, 2 other full-time jobs. The podcast and her book club has, like, 500 plus members. Like, you got, and she has 2 booktube channels and she puts up 2 videos per week.
YouTube channels, not 2 booktube channels.
Well, 2 channels, whatever. Just let me live my life. And she puts up 2 videos per channel. One's like a lifestyle.
What if I did have 2 booktube channels, and on one I was like, I hate this book, and the other I was like,
one was like a romance channel, one was like a thriller channel. I would love it. I would be. I am subscribed to both, but I would still be subscribed to both. But here's the thing: is that I'm still here and sober. I'm sorry, Monica. I drank enough for the both of us. But she's also from Argentina, so what time is it there? Let us know in the comments. Okay. So, here's a good question for you guys. How long do you give a book? Here's for the last 3.5 minutes. How long do you give a book before you DNF it? 50 pages, 100 pages, you just feel it out?
No set number. It just all
depends. As soon as you're bored, page 1, bitch, you're gone.
Yep. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, literally, yes. Like,
if you don't hook me in the first page.
The Lost Village, yeah, I listened to like 15%, got rid of it. There's definitely like a couple where I've like read like the first like 3 pages, DNF'd it. The Drowning Kind, I'm over halfway through, and I'm just like, not feeling.
Okay, but do you DNF permanently or do you DNF temporarily?
Permanently.
It depends. If I read a book and I realize, I'm not in a thriller mood, I'm in a romance mood. Or if I read a book, I'm like, you're boring. Goodbye.
Okay, so I read romance, like the beach read is one that I DNF'd. And I knew it was because I wasn't in the mood for romance at the time, like you said, Jessie. So I DNF'd it and I went back and I rated it 5 stars. Okay, Carolina says 100
correct
pages.
thing to do.
Dang. Midnight. Oh, it's almost the same time. I still haven't eaten my dessert. Dang, nightly desserts. See, okay, so I'm reading that book that I told you guys about. You'll thank me for this. And I don't know. I'm kind of like, And plus, like I said, it's like a Danish thing, which is where my brother-in-law and, sister-in-law and like my nieces and nephews live. But I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Because, like, why try and get through?
But it's short. And I started getting more invested. But I'm like, am I really invested or am I
Just think of all the time you could be reading a book you like.
I know, and we are the DNF queens, right, Jacqueline?
Yeah. Put that on it soon.
I need my crown.
That says DNF.
Yeah, DNF queen. Okay, maybe. I still feel it's worth a couple more pages. I always think like 50 to 100, but then this book is only like 250 pages. So I'm like, I'm reading almost half the book. Like, is that really?
Yeah, I've DNF'd at halfway before.
I've heard people that have got like so near the end and they've DNF'd it.
Yeah, when it feels like a chore and I'm like, oh, I got to pick up that book.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Jessie's favorite book, for better or worse.
75%.
No.
Okay, that's what I told Jacqueline. I was like, DNF it. It's still a good discussion for the podcast. Meanwhile, Jessie, I was struggling. Like, I was like, literally, I know I'm not interested in the book because, like, I don't want to read it. I follow like 6 book with live shows on Book You should form one too. We already have a book club we're part of. It's just not online. Well, it's not on live on BookTube, but it's better than all. Trust me, it's better than all. It's literally you have to be active to be a part of this book club, and there's like at least like 3 events that are happening. But then there's all these other little side things you could be doing as well. But I'm talking about like 3 big things that happen every month. There's 2 different book discussions. There's like a TBR challenge that happens. Hit Jacqueline up for all the deets. It's literally the best book club.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Fabric and Fables. Okay, let me speak to you for the last... Oh, we're over time. But DNF is like, it's your life. You're doing this for fun. You're not being paid for this. This is not your job. Let it go. Let it go. That's, yeah.
Now we've got singing.
Not good singing, but.
Fabric and Fables, if you haven't been accepted yet, it's because we accept.
At the beginning of every month.
So you'll be accepted then probably at the beginning of May.
I'm an admin. I'm so excited.
No, it's perfect because we're doing the Game of Life TBR challenge. We'll get to do that.
And we're also doing the most anticipated release of Christina Lauren's new book, The Soulmate Equation, which I'm hosting.
Let me grab the link to it so you guys can put your requests in. It's on Facebook, so you do have to.
Yeah, it's a Facebook run book club. So it is totally online. There's no meetings like in person, but we do have like an in-person meeting type sister group that you can join and meet book club members. But it's literally like the most welcoming place you could imagine. You have to stay active in the book club or you can't be a part of it. But there's literally like so many things you can do to stay active. So
we also have like parties and stuff there too. So we
so if you want to see more drunk Gwen.
Yeah. Oh, she says she's so over Christina Lauren.
Monica, I thought we were becoming friends. But I am worried about The Soulmate Equation because it's different than all their other books. And it's the first time in hardcover. I am a little worried. But, Monica, don't get over them.
All right, you guys, we're going to say goodbye.
See how I can turn it on and off? Bye, guys!
But you can see us again, number 1 on our channels. The links are down below in the description box. So
nobody's subscribing to me after tonight. Just saying.
That is not true. And then you can listen to me and Gwen on Talk Bookish to Me podcast.
Yes.
We have new episodes every other Monday. And then
Jessie was on one of our episodes.
Here. Yeah, Taylor just got here. She was like, "Oh, it's almost over." And then if you join We Be Bookin', you can see us in the book club. Like you'll actually get to like meet with us personally most of the time, which is really cool, getting to know us better. And then our next RECS by the Bottle live show.
So mad about game
August
night.
13th. August 13th at 8 p.m. EST. So,
I'm not forgetting that.
thanks for everyone hopping on.
And she's not coming back next week. I'm upset. I'm going to bed mad.
All right. Thanks for hopping on, everybody.
Bye.